Boys and girls, it's time to get a little bit dirty here at the high banks of Bristol. I'm Andre Grandbush with 3WTV, bringing you tonight's running of the 100% Cup Series. Tonight's format's going to be a little bit different. Normally, this is where we would go through the grid real quick, but we don't actually have a grid. As we're running on a dirt track, we're going to follow the more stereotypical dirt format, running heat races and a main. Right now, the drivers are out there turning 2 individual hot laps that they're going to have to make. These hot laps are going to set the pace for the heat races. Then the heat races, assuming there's going to be 2 of them with the driver count that we have, the first heat's going to set the inside row for the main event. The second heat's going to set the outside row. If we have 3 heats, should there be more cars than expected, then the heats will set every third car respectively. So kind of a convoluted format, as this race is kind of going to be convoluted in and of itself, so it's kind of fitting. Anyways, as you can see, this overhead scenic view of Bristol. I'm currently looking at some of the drivers making their hot laps, and it sounds like Ryan Samuelson just blew an engine. That's kind of unexpected. I don't think he got both of his laps in. Not sure how that happened, but right now at the top of the board, looking at Brandon Pierce with a 17.006, with Samuelson right behind him, 17.091. Got a 2/10 gap back to third place. Bryson Hicksonbaugh P3 in that 63 car, 17.2. Dalton Mobley there in fourth, 17.3. And round out your top 5 as they stand right now, it's going to be Mason Lowry in that 56 car. You can see the weather and track conditions on your screen right now. Although, for once, I can't really say that the temperature is going to matter much. You know, every week it seems like I always say, oh yeah, the track temp, it's going to fluctuate, it's going to change, it's going to mean a lot. And not this week. I think the thing that's going to affect the track more than the temperature or the wind direction or the clouds is definitely going to be how this track gets run in. Right now, the track is at very low track usage, almost 0%. But as these drivers make laps and lay down rubber, you're going to see this dark sort of strip of rubber form around the center of the track. And it's going to get darker and darker as they continue to drive. And that little rubberized strip is going to be almost like ice when they drive over it. So you're going to go from having quite a bit of grip where the car almost doesn't even want to get sideways to trying to prevent your car from doing 360s in that strip. So it is going to be very difficult for these drivers to manage. And I know I was able to talk with a few of these drivers ahead of time. And some drivers opted to not even run this race. They felt like, man, I just can't even make laps at this track. I don't feel confident enough. So a few guys opting to not even show up. A few guys saying, I'm just here to make laps and try to keep the car clean. And a few guys a little bit more confident. I know Adam Benefield before the race said, I feel fast here. I was able to turn really good laps. He talked about how Team Conti has been working super hard on the setups and how they feel like they've really got their cars dialed in. So a range of reactions and emotion when it comes to this track and how this event's going to go. And I know for some of these drivers, it was kind of unexpected. When the season began, it was always up in the air that we might run at Dirt Bristol, but it was kind of up to iRacing themselves if they got the track onto the simulator, if they got it scanned in time, and if they didn't, we were going to go somewhere else. iRacing did get the track scanned in time, and the admins decided, all right, real NASCAR is going here, so we're going to go here too. And it has been, like I said, kind of a mixed reaction to this race. But regardless of what the drivers think about the track, that doesn't matter. What matters is whether or not it's going to be a fun show to watch, and I can assure you it most certainly is. Another thing I can assure you is that you're not going to have to listen to me ramble to myself all night long. We are waiting on Josh Kiwis. He's going to be joining me in the booth as he did a couple weeks ago, and we're just waiting on him, so he'll show up at some point and make his presence known. So that way you don't have to listen to me ramble on and on. But going back to the grid, looks like nothing has changed. Most of the drivers have got their times in, and the pole sitter is still Brandon Pierce. But let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings as we go into this week's event. You can see Adam Benefield still leading the points. He's got 3 wins, 17 playoff points. Bryson Hicksonbaugh, nabbing his first win last week, moved up to second in points with 11 playoff points. A lot of stage wins behind the wheel of that 63 car. Cameron Stone, the defending champion, he's going to be sitting P3 in points going into tonight's event. Another 1-win driver with 7 playoff points. And Kevin Steele, the Daytona 500 champion, he's sitting there in 4th with 1 win, 5 playoff points. Outside of those locked into the playoffs right now, you got Jonathan Delaney in 5th at plus 161 points in the next car ahead of him there. So a bit of a gap, but P5, never a bad place to be. Mason Lowry, a rookie, right above Chad Edwards there, both Loudmouth Motorsports drivers, 6th and 7th respectively. Preston McRae, P8. Dustin Hall, P9. Round out your top 10, Brian Branham, who actually missed a race, and he is still sitting there in 10th place. So that just shows you how strong his performances have been when he has been able to show up. But that is your top 10 in points. The rest of them were on the graphic there. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, Heat 1 is getting ready to grid, and it does look like we have 3 heats. So we had enough cars to justify 3 of them. And the entrance for this heat looks like and not everybody has gridded, but Bryson Nixonbaugh is going to be on the front row on the outside. Behind him, you got Mason Lowry and Dustin Hall, Kevin Steele and Preston McRae behind him. Jonathan Delaney is going to be in this heat, and looks like, yep, that is going to be the 38, Brandon Pierce, starting on the pole of this heat. So it looks like 7 drivers total in this heat, which I think is going to be a good opportunity for these drivers to learn what it's like to race around the competition while not having a track full of cars where you're constantly in traffic. Possibly a very useful learning experience for these guys as they get ready to roll off. And I got to wonder, what are these guys expecting when it comes to how are the drivers around them going to run this race? How much aggression is there going to be? Like I said before, we've had so many drivers talk about how they're just here to make laps and to try to keep the car clean. And we've had a lot of drivers say, hey, I'm out here to be fast. So it's going to be difficult to try and navigate all of that. But they're finally rolling off. So now I can stop rambling and give you guys a momentary break as they make their way out of turn 2. Turn 1 and 2 actually a little bit sharper at Bristol, which is something that I did not know for the longest time. It was only until I looked at the track map on iRacing that I realized that 3 and 4 is a little bit wider, which does play into how these guys are going to kind of sail the car into these corners, how much they got to get them sideways, and how much throttle input they're going to have to use to keep that car at the proper angle. 2 pit roads on Bristol as usual. And that is one thing that I should note is we're going to have live pit stops. The real NASCAR race here will not have live pit stops. They're going to have to pit under a designated break period. Not in this race. You're going to be able to come down pit road and brake as you normally would at pretty much any time. Come down for tires as long as you have some left, presumably. And so strategy is still going to possibly come into play. I mean, the tires do wear here. It's not as big of a factor as a track like Atlanta last week or anything like that, but the tires do wear, so they can make a difference. A little bit of strategy. Brandon Pierce, he is anxiously awaiting that pace truck to get off the track, and it does. Brandon Pierce gets on the loud pedal and sideways right away. Whoa! He is fishtailing down the front straight. Everybody behind him scrambling, thinking, man, where is he going? But that is such an easy thing to do when the track condition is so fresh. You get on that throttle, get a little bit sideways, and it's just chaos from there. Hard to handle that car. Bryson Nixonbaugh about 2 car lengths back. Maybe not as fast through the corners, but his car is looking a little bit more stable, running that higher line. Of course, where these guys run is gonna determine what lane of the track gets run in the quickest. And it seems like once a lane gets run in, the drivers avoid that lane and try to go where the dirt is or where the cushion is. So kind of not surprising to see all these drivers running different lanes, trying to avoid running in one specific lane. We've got a battle. Jonathan Delaney looks to be on the inside of Dustin Hall. He's going to make the move around the bottom lane. Keep that thing sideways. You can see just how sideways they're getting, as well as all the dirt they're kicking up. Visibility is going to be a huge issue here. I mean, you do have tear-offs on these cars, I believe. But even still, you can see from this onboard cam, that is Jonathan Delaney now trying to make the move on Mason Lowry. Way down low, contact. Whoa! They're going to stay side by side coming down the straightaway. Jonathan Delaney still spiked up on Mountain Dew, but also still not grammatically correct, as he is going to make his way through the corner. He got around Mason Lowry. I can't imagine Mason's too happy with the bump and run, but it is Bristol, baby. That's what you do at this track. You give them the bumper, and you move on. You just got to make sure that when you do move on, you don't let them catch back up, because if they do, might be a little bit of payback in your future. But Jonathan Delaney definitely making some overtakes early and, showing some speed. But really, right now, nobody has anything for Brandon Pierce. He has pulled away to about a 1.5 second lead over second place Hicksonbaugh in that knee-high Septic 63. And right now, it just seems like he knows this track. He's got that thing dialed in. He's running that low line. He has been pretty much since the beginning. And it's like as this track gets a little bit more run in, he's getting more and more comfortable. Early on in the race, he was kind of fishtailing, looked a little bit unsettled in that car. Not anymore. as we have another side-by-side battle developing a little bit further back in the pack. That's going to be Dustin Hall and Mason Lowry. Those two going to be side-by-side working their way through the corner. Mason on the high side once again, just as he was when he was battling with Delaney. And he's up in the marbles right now. That cushion, as it stands, it's not the worst place on the track to be, but when the bottom of the track isn't run in, usually that top cushion is almost a little bit too deep. You almost got this powder in there that wants to keep that car from properly rotating. So kind of at a disadvantage running that high line, and you can see the number one of Dustin Hall getting a fantastic run out of the corner as Mason Lowry closes back up to the bumper bed, immediately goes back to that high side, losing a little bit more ground. Seems like the bottom is the place to be, but of course, consistently going to change throughout the night as Mason Lowry, you can see, age 24 out of Hope, Florida, 15 career iRacing wins, 10 oval, 4 road, 1 dirt road. Wants his achievements to be known. That's probably the only serious driver bio that I think we've seen in 100% Cup Series. As it looks like Mason Lowry has actually closed this gap back up to the number one. I kind of thought Dustin Hall was going to pull away there just a little bit, but no. He is right there on the bumper. I should note this is a 15-lap heat, and the leaders are currently on lap 13, approaching lap 14. So not too much racing left as Brandon Pierce has a commanding lead, nearly an entire straightaway. And Delaney, with only 1.5 laps, I should say, left in the race, he's going to try to make the move on Hicksonbaugh. Right up on the bumper. No contact. That was a clean move right there. He's going to get down to the bottom. He's on the apron. He went off the banking. That actually cost him a little bit of time as they crossed the stripe for lap 15 this time by. Brandon Pierce still with a commanding lead, but the battle for second place, Jonathan Delaney on that low line. Bryson Hicksonbaugh working the top. He's got one more corner to do it as Brandon Pierce is going to round 3 and 4 and win the heat, which I believe is going to lock him into the pole position for the main event. Looks like Jonathan Delaney is not going to get to Bryson Hicksonbaugh. Bryson's going to finish P2. Jonathan Delaney finishing P3, and Mason Lowry actually got back around Dustin Hall for P4. Dustin Hall finishing P5. And man, what a heat race that was. Seems like we kind of got an idea of the different driving styles these drivers are going to have. And it looks like we are finally joined by Josh Kiwis, so I can quit rambling to you guys and have a co-commentator here. Always good to have. Josh, welcome to the booth. How you doing, man?
Yeah, sorry about that. I took a little bit longer in the shower than I needed to. Realized once I got out that I saw my phone was lit up and y'all said, "Hey, we're live," and I'm like, "Oh, goodness gracious!" So I got out, was running across the house. Sorry about that, guys.
It happens to the best of us. But Heat 1 results on your screen. We already kind of went through them, but we'll do it again. Brandon Pierce, Bryson Hicksonbaugh, Jonathan Delaney, Mason Lowry, Dustin Hall, Kevin Steele, Preston McRae, and Adam Benefield actually failed to start that heat, so I'm not sure he's going to be in the race itself. He did disconnect and reconnect, so we'll have to wait and see. But Josh, I know you missed a little bit of the action there in the first heat, but man, even with a smaller field, this has been some crazy action. And we got a bit of a stacked heat here. Some drivers who I know were a little bit more confident on dirt. We got Cody Bird, Patrick Much, Dalton Mobley. These are guys who really felt comfortable on this dirt, and I'm curious to see how close this action is.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here tonight at the Bristol dirt. Man, just seeing all the professionals take it on this past week on TV on iRacing, and then just seeing all the hype behind the actual live event. It's fun to sit down and see all these guys take to the dirt tonight. I know it's been mayhem some in real life, and so excited to see how it is on the virtual world.
Absolutely, and I think it's going to be more fun for the spectators than it is the drivers. I think it's going to be a very difficult and grueling task for the drivers to complete this feature when we get to it. It's going to be, I believe, a 100-lap feature. So Ryan Samuelson takes the green flag. The pace truck has left. Samuelson with a huge jump. He's going to make his way through 1 and 2 with a 2-car length advantage over second place. And I'm sorry, 250-lap feature. That is a correction there. Long event. The real-life event, I believe, is a 100-lap feature. This is a little bit longer. But it looks like, Josh, getting a little bit of separation early on. This is a little bit different than what we saw from Heat 1.
Yeah, it seems like the leader got out there and Ryan Samuelson just said, "Hey, I'm out of here." I know you
And,
guys are getting crazy behind me, so you see him too wide going into turn 4 right there. 2x2s, they make a little bit of contact right there.
absolutely, and it's 17.
Oh,
More contact to Tim Rail. That 17 car, it's been 2 laps, and it looks like that thing has been through a war zone. The right rear's caved in, the right front's caved in, and still he's trying to run P4 with that, so he's trucking through it. But Patrick Much not making it easy. He's going to get the slider on the bottom, lose a little bit of momentum. Tim Rail is going to keep his pace on the high line. I know Tim was incredibly fast, former dirt go-kart racer, age 26 out of Ringo's, New Jersey. He was really fast in practice. A lot of the drivers over at Highside and Loudmouth Motorsports were kind of baffled by his lap times, and they were wondering how he was pulling them off. So to see him running top 3 in this heat, maybe not so much a surprise, but a huge moment there. Dalton Mobley. I think we're going to continue to see those. Whoa! Yep. Well, Tim was running in the top 3.
oh man, that Red Robin car is beat up right now.
Yeah, he was waving to the infield. Oh, now into the wall goes Tim Rail. Something is not right with that car. He was waving to the infield spectators, then he shot up to the outside wall. It is all over the place right now.
Hey, some of these drivers just not comfortable on dirt. I know I'm one of them. Been running it a little bit on the Fix series, but hey, it's just messing around with it, more or less practice. I haven't got out and raced one yet. I don't think I'm ready for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure any of us are ready for this. This is quite this show, and this track, again, one of the most difficult tracks I think any of these drivers have had to navigate on iRacing. A lot of them saying just how they didn't know how they were even going to make a few consistent laps, let alone the entire length of the main event. But right now we got Chad Edwards. He is running P2 with a 4-second gap up to the leader. So Samuelson with a huge lead. I mean, there is just nobody challenging from behind. Ahead of him, he does have a lap car approaching. That is Damaris Hickenbottom in the 09 car. He's about a corner ahead of the leader right now, so not quite going to be a factor yet as we approach lap 11 out of 15 for the heat. I'm sure Damaris is going to get out of the way, not going to hold up the leader too much there. It's kind of the last thing you want to do at a track like this because you're never really sure where the leader's going to go. A lot of these drivers are just kind of barely in control of these cars, let alone trying to cleanly navigate traffic.
Yeah, and you see, we already got a little bit of that mid lane starting to form, that dirt starting to shift up the track. It's gonna be fun seeing that as the dirt does change on these tracks. It's very dynamic, and you'll start in the low lane, go to the high lane. Next thing you know, you'll be driving, feels like the apron. You never know with these dirt, where the dirt's gonna go throughout the race. So it's gonna be fun to see all the lines take shape because each lap seems like it's different for these cars.
Absolutely, and as that cushion forms up and they rubber up that middle lane, like I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, it's going to get less and less viable. Wherever you see all that rubber laid down, it's kind of what you want to avoid because that car is going to get really slick really fast. And I know that the purpose of dirt racing is to get sideways, but there is such a thing as 2 sideways, as we saw with Tim Rail earlier. And that's the exact kind of thing these drivers are going to try to avoid. You can see the onboard gyro cam with your leader, Ryan Samuelson. You can see he's really flicking the wheel to get through the corner. But one thing I've noticed is that these drivers really don't do a lot of counter steering here. You can see when he goes through the corner, he does do a little bit of counter steering initially, then he's right back to cranking left on the wheel, which is kind of the opposite of what you'd normally do at a dirt track like this. And I think a lot of it is just because of how much grip this track has comparatively to other dirt tracks.
Yeah, I definitely could tell earlier. I hopped back in it first time this week, or for the second time this week, earlier before the race, just to try to get a feel of the track. And man, I was having a tough time. It feels like one lap the car is just plowing tight, and then the next it just wants to go around on you. I don't know. It's crazy. That dirt's changing constantly out there.
Absolutely. Ryan Samuelson's going to take the Heat 2 win with a huge lead of about 5 seconds. Chad Edwards P2, Dalton Mobley P3, Patrick Much, Tim Rail, Cody Bird, Damaris Hickenbottom is going to round out that heat as Heat 3 is about to get gridded up. And after this heat, we get to the 250-lap main event, which is going to be absolutely insane to see all of these cars that we've seen in the heat races separate, all on one track. That is going to be very interesting to watch as these guys get gridded up. But the Heat 2 results are on your screen. We already went through them, but if you want to take a double look and see where your favorite driver finished, you can do that right there. The drivers and teams listed as well as your intervals. Cody Bird not having the heat that I think he was expecting to have. I know he was really excited about Dirt Bristol, and he was telling me how confident he was going into this race. He's a very big dirt racing fan, does a lot of dirt racing on iRacing. Maybe not showing his hand early. Maybe he likes the track to be a little bit more rubbered up and isn't really feeling this fresh track. We'll just have to find out. But in this heat race, we're going to have Jimmy Costarellos returning to the league for the first time in a little while. In that number 69 machine, he's going to be on the pole. Bryce Hoffman outside pole. Behind them, you've got Devin Medeiros. You have RJ Root, Wayne Grassy, Cameron Stone, Jacob Adams going to round out this heat. Lights are off. Oh, go ahead.
They are? Wait, what? Oh, did you say lights are off or mics are off? I'm confused.
Nope,
I thought you said lights are off.
Lights,
I was about to start talking, and I was like, wait a second. Did he just say it? I got confused for a second. My fault. As the lights are indeed off, not our mics. This is going to be the last heat race before we hit our 250-lap feature. Like you said, that 69 of Jimmy Costarellos, he's going to be out front, and going to see if our leaders here can get as big of a jump as our last heat. So.
And I know these starts are going to be absolutely crucial. It's very difficult to get a good jump on this dirt track with how little grip there is. Wheel spin more prevalent than ever. As Jimmy Costarellos has no wheel spin at all, he's going to get out to an immediate 4-car length gap and then hard into the outside wall as the 21 car has a bit of a panic moment there. He got onto the outside lane. They were 3 wide for a moment. Jimmy Costarellos into the outside wall again. Now, should be noted, Jimmy Costarellos is not doing that intentionally. That is a consequence of these physics. However, wall riding does give you a bit of an advantage that some drivers might call unfair. And when the admins were asked about how they're going to handle the wall bouncing, he said, we're going to try to, Damaris Hickenbottom, one of the league admins, he said, we're going to handle it as best we can, but we don't have eyes everywhere. So try and police yourselves as well. So I think if these drivers see too many wall bounces and maybe they get a little fed up with it, we might see some action out on the track. I don't know. But we do have a lead change.
Oh! 12 and 8.
Big moment.
Oh,
Medeiros.
Woo!
Oh, how did they get that straightened out?
Well, I think they said they were listening to you. They said we might have a little bit of action later in the race, and they said, screw it, we're going to go ahead and have the action now.
It seems like it, but I can't believe that everybody kept going right there. I mean,
Ooh, big run from the 48 right there. I'm not watching the same thing as y'all. Sorry.
We do have a battle developing for the lead. Lap 5 out of 15. Looks like Jimmy Costarellos was overtaken by Cameron Stone. Cameron Stone running that high line, but he made the pass on the bottom pretty masterfully. I mean, it was a good move. He didn't overshoot his boundaries. He kind of kept that car planted. It was kind of a textbook slide job, but now Jimmy Costarellos seems like he's getting a feel for that car. He's not hitting the wall as much. He's kind of keeping that high line a little bit smoother. He is right on the rear bumper of he was right on the rear bumper. A little bit of a bobble there is going to put him back a ways. That's going to give Cameron Stone a little bit of breathing room as they make their way through the corner. And RJ Root,
the wall again.
RJ Root, who was involved in one of those incidents early on in the race, he's all the way up in the third, now challenging the 69 car for second place. You mentioned there, Josh, that the 69 got into the wall again. Well, that time it cost him quite a bit because now he's under fire.
Yeah, RJ Root, he's in the wall again, man. That 69, he just keeps getting up there, and he's riding it all the way around. I saw the car just like it was glued to the wall. But hey, it's hard to keep it off there, like you said earlier. It's just these physics on these dirt tracks are no joke. You get in that wall, it's almost like you're stuck there.
Absolutely. And then as soon as the 8 car got around Jimmy Costarellos, he got into the wall. So Costarellos got right back around. It seems like these guys are just kind of calibrating the outside wall, making sure it works properly, maybe. Something to that effect. But RJ Root now right up on the bumper of Jimmy Costarellos. But he's going to have to give up a little bit of time. He got Swirly getting on the straightaway, way down to that low line. Side by side again as Jimmy Costarellos scrapes the outside wall. RJ Root now comfortably into second, but can he keep it? As he scrapes the outside wall on entry, doesn't cost him too much time. He's going to ride that cushion. It's a good corner. That might finally be him securely into P2 as he gets a bit of a gap, about 4 car lengths over third place. And all this action going on right now, and what we're not seeing is that Cameron Stone's running away with it now. He's got a 2.5 second lead, and it is just growing every lap. So Cameron Stone seems to have got a feel for that moon pie car, and he's got that thing figured out right now. But behind him, man, it's a bit of a different story. These guys are struggling with the car, struggling with the track, and through it all, they're fighting through it, and they're still managing to fight for position and turn some consistent laps. But a lot of beat up cars early in this heat.
Yeah, I feel like in general there's just going to be a lot of beat up cars throughout the night. There's going to be a tough racetrack to keep a handle on in the long run, and generally even in the short run. I just feel like you said, restarts are going to be so big here, and it's just really hard to restart here in general. So it's going to be fun to see how these guys manage and maintain all this is thrown at it. This is a completely different track than what we're completely used to in these cars. So, it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. I'm not sure when anybody signed up for the league that they were quite expecting to go to a dirt track in a cup car. It's been 50 years since real life NASCAR has went to a dirt track in real life. And of course, this league follows the real life schedule as Cameron Stone crosses the line to take the Heat 3 win. Behind him, finishing order is going to be RJ Root claiming that second place. Jimmy Costarello's third, Bryce Hoffman fourth, Devin Medeiros in fifth, Wayne Grassy sixth, and to round out the heat, you got Jacob Adams in that 48 car who, you mentioned that the 48 had a big run early in that heat, and he did seem to have some speed really within the first few laps, and then car kind of faded. So going to be interesting to see how his car is able to handle a much longer event here, 250 laps. But right now, we are gridding up to the feature, and it looks like it's going to be... actually, I'm not entirely sure how this grid is going to shake out. I do know that...
right now, I'm seeing Brandon Pierce and Ryan Samuelson on pole and outside pole.
Yeah, that sounds right. My results list seems to be a little messed up there, but yeah, this is going to be something. We have a total of, it looks like, just under 20 cars, 22 cars. So there's going to be quite a few cars on this tiny little track here, Josh.
Oh, yes, indeed. Especially with the dirt thrown in there, it's just going to be a big old haymaker, big old left jab. They're going to be throwing all types of blows tonight at each other. It's just going to be a fun race to see these drivers get out there. Just put it out on the line as you see them getting ready to go here. It's even hard to do that. Trust me, just getting the thing rolling on the dirt's hard. Coming out of the pits, I spun that thing like 3 times the first time I ever got in one of the cars. So just to get away without any collision, hey, you've gotten my applause on Bristol Dirt.
Absolutely. Just being there at the end is going to be an accomplishment. One thing I'm excited to see is just, this race is going to be so different from what we normally do. I think the running order, and particularly the finishing order, is going to be a little bit different. We already see we've got Brandon Pierce and Ryan Samuelson, 2 very talented drivers, but drivers who maybe you don't always see on the pole, and they're up there running 1 and 2 right now. They've shown a lot of speed, and I think they're going to be some dominant forces as this race goes on. But behind them, that's where things start to get a little bit more, I guess, standardized. You got Cameron Stone, Bryson Nixonbaugh. You expect to see those guys up front. You got Chad Edwards with a pretty good starting position inside row 3. RJ Root to his outside there in row 3. Jonathan Delaney, he's not starting third, hopefully not going to finish third. He's going to be in row 4 inside. Dalton Mobley, another driver who maybe you don't see quite this far up on the starting grid at least. He's got a good qualifying effort. He was doing pretty good on this dirt. So I really think this is going to be a fun race, and it's going to really show a different skill set that maybe some of these drivers don't really get to display very often.
Indeed. It's like when we go to the road courses, it's just a completely different type of talent. But here, this is just going to be whoever's got it has got it, man, because they are green. Brandon Pierce with a really good jump there on that inside lane, and he's going to throw it off into turn 1 for the first time tonight.
Learning from the Heat 1 event where he spun his tires quite a bit, this time around, there was no wheel spin. He got a huge jump, like you said there, Josh. And now, down on the apron, that's going to cost him. Samuelson up into the wall. He's going to give up P2, P3, all the way back to 4th now, as the 8 car is going to make a move down low. I am surprised, though, out of all of that, the most surprising thing to me is that Brandon Pierce got on that apron where the banking completely levels out and it shifts the weight of your car, and he managed to keep the lead.
It's like making you feel like we're at old Bristol again, that low lane down there, digging hard, getting out that exit. But, yeah, like you said, getting down that apron, that's no joke down there. That can really throw the balance of this car completely off. It's very bumpy down there, and on top of you're just not really supposed to be down there. So you would run there from the 38 as he's going to bring it around and lead for lap 4 here. As no caution yet. He just ran a 16.9. That's his fastest lap so far of the race. But saw a little bit of action there coming out of turn 4 on that first restart, on that first start. But so far, so good. We're at lap 5, and we still look like we're digging. So good showing so far on the dirt.
And I should point out, Brandon Pierce is the only. Oh, yellow flag.
Yep, I said it. I just had to say
no, Cody. I believe that's the 13 car. Cody Bird. Could be wrong, and it's kind of a far away angle. I'm going to try and.
It is.
Yep, that is a 13 car. We can confirm. Unfortunately, got into the. Looks like he got into the pit wall. Let's take a look and see what happened here, Josh. Went through 3 and 4 there. Or maybe that was 1 and 2. It was 1. Yeah, 3 and 4. I apologize. Now into 1 and 2. Way down on that low line. 3 wide with Adam Benefiel and just. Oh.
That was just unlucky.
Yeah. His car caught grip. And unfortunately, it caught grip at the worst possible time. I mean, anywhere else on the track, he's fine. Right there, you got the sand barrels at the end of pit road to deal with. So unfortunate, but one thing that is in his favor, Josh, and something we haven't really talked about, is that I don't think damage really matters. As long as you don't have engine damage, you could pretty much remove the body panels entirely, and your car is still going to be competitive on dirt.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. It's this track is coming down purely tonight to driver skill. I feel like it, and it's going to be nothing but that. There's going to be some luck that plays in hand for sure. I mean, we just saw a driver that we thought was going to be doing pretty good off the bat. You talked about he was. I think you were talking about Cody Wright saying he was confident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It just shows you that even if you're confident on the track, I mean, anything can still happen. So a little bit of luck involved tonight, but a lot of skill is going to get these drivers through 250 laps of Bristol dirt. That's for sure.
With all the luck and the mixture of luck and skill, it's almost like we never left Las Vegas because we've seen a lot of lucky and unlucky moments the last couple of weeks. Very eventful races, and it seems like this is definitely no different. But I was saying before that caution came out, I was going to point out Brandon Pierce was the only driver at that point in time, 5 laps into the race, to turn a sub-17 lap. So that 16.9 was just about 0.3 of a lap, or 0.3 of a second faster than anybody else on the track. That 38 car, at this point, I would say, oh yeah, he's got, at any other track, I'd say he's got the setup dialed in, and that car is feeling good. But here, I'm not sure how much it's set up. I think a lot of this is just coming down to driver skill, and Brandon Pierce seems to have the dirt figured out.
Yeah, and these cars are going to change overnight so much. So it's going to see these. It's going to be fun watching these drivers really adapt to the track, adapt to how the cars are going to start feeling different. And like you said, this is just fun to me. I don't know. This is my first ever dirt race I've ever called, so I've never really been a big dirt person. But I mean, I've watched actual like dirt racing, but first time ever calling. So not too sure what to expect too much here, especially at a track like Bristol Dirt where we don't have any details on it. We have no data, nothing to go by. This is all these drivers getting out there. This is their first time really green flag running next to people. So it's going to be fun to see once we start cranking in some more laps here. We're only at lap 10, and man, it already feels like I'm too excited for this.
Yeah, I mean, this has been an exciting event just 10 laps in, and that's the thing about this track, man. It's so small, and the action is so consistent. There never really is any lulls in the action. There's always something going on somewhere on the track, and if we keep getting these cautions like this, I mean, we're going to get these restarts. That's going to make it even crazier. So an exciting event to be sure, and I know while a lot of the drivers were dreading it leading up to it, and they said, man, I don't want to run this race. This track is terrible. It's too difficult. It's rough. The spectators, though, they were waiting for this one. They were excited, way more excited than the drivers. As Brandon Pierce with another huge jump, though this time getting a little bit sideways, a little bit of tire spin.
But he gathered it back up. Seemed like everybody got good there. The 9 gave a big shot to the 16, and the 4 just almost 57.
Oh, they're still hitting each other. Samuelson and Stone.
Oh, the 4's back and sideways again. He just hit the 46.
Oh, man, Adam Benefiel, that 83, he can't escape these 3-wide situations. He's been 3-wide pretty much since the drop of the green.
Yeah, and they gathered it back up pretty good there. The 4 Chad Edwards, just unfortunate. He was, up in the top 7, top 6, right there on that restart. Now he's all the way back to 13. So that's unfortunate there for Chad Edwards. But that just shows you one little bobble on a dirt track, and hey, you're out of here.
Absolutely. You have to be on the ball, very consistent. You make a bobble, and there's going to be tens of cars behind you just waiting to make that lunge and try to get that overtake. little bit of damage to the rear end of Cameron Stone's machine from all of that going on. But again, like we said, damage I don't think is going to play too much of a factor, as we are, I believe, riding on board with Benefield there now, looking at Cameron Stone with Samuelson behind him. Gotta think maybe Samuelson's not too happy with Cameron Stone. I didn't see exactly what happened, so I can't really point the finger and put any fault on anybody there, especially with how crazy these cars are to handle. But I did see some heavy door-to-door contact between these two, and anytime you see door-to-door contact, regardless of what initiated it, you got to think the drivers get a little heated. So we're going to see if he can catch up to Cameron Stone and what he does when he gets there.
Yeah, I want to say it was just a little bit of the 16 got a shot in the rear bumper that put him up into the 57, and I think that's what it was. I want to say the 4 was involved in all that too, but like you said, it's going to be fun. These drivers probably already on edge, number one. They're, like you said, driving a track that not a lot of them really wanted to drive, and number two, having to deal with all the guys that they're racing with week in and week out, banging you around. It kind of gets you in that in the driver's seat, infuriated, and you'll start seeing these guys make some moves that usually they don't make. So it's going to be fun seeing if we get some bumper moves here soon.
Absolutely. You really nailed it there. It is a high-strung, stressful race. Like you said, these guys kind of already didn't want to run this track. And then, yellow flag is out again as we rode on board there with the leader, Brandon Pierce, for a minute. But
Yeah,
Benefield is involved, as well as Patrick Much.
And Preston McRae. This is they crashed for me.
Man, that was 100% leading, but I don't know about that one, Adam. Not right now, at least. We're going to take a look at the replay. Looks like Patrick Much is already missing the front bumper as the replay even begins. And Adam Benefield working his way through the corner. And the outside, he gets into the wall. Oh! Slams down into Patrick Much, and that is Kevin Steele in that number 53 Reese's.
Was it just me?
No, not Kevin Steele. I apologize. That's my bad. Preston McRae.
Perfect. The 43 or the 46 and the 83 hit the wall and turned like pirouette. It was like synced up. How perfect they flipped back around. I'm sorry, I just noticed that, and that was so perfect looking. Just watch after they spin. They like hit the wall the same way and spin the same way. Everything. It's so perfect. Back around. Yeah, exactly. Birds aren't real.
Synchronized spinning.
Yeah, exactly. Synchronized spinning. That's the new term here. As you see all that dirt on the inside of the race car already. Is that from the sim, or did he put that in there on like a? I never knew that it got in the interiors dirty. I've never paid that much attention. That just shows you how much I really don't know about dirt racing on iRacing.
That's new to me. I didn't know that either. That is
I didn't
cool,
either. Oh, okay.
I'd have to say that the biggest loser in that situation though is Preston McRae. That was unfortunate for him because he was just kind of running his line there in that 53 car. Didn't really have anywhere to go. Adam Benefield got into the wall, and you can't really blame Benefield either because when you get on the wall, you mentioned how sticky that wall can be. You mentioned that in Heat 2, and that is very true. You get stuck on that wall, and your instinct is to just crank that wheel left and get off of it as soon as you can, because if you don't, you're going to be up there for half a lap or more. So Benefield doing what he should have done, he cranked that wheel, got it off the wall, but then unfortunately, his car lost grip. He spun down, and there was just somebody there, and it was a racing incident for sure. Nobody to be at fault there. It was just a product of this dirt track racing, and unfortunately, Preston McRae just a bystander and all of that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be no hard feelings after tonight. These guys probably know that they're just all trying to get the same thing, and that's get out of here.
Yeah, I think once this race is over, every driver is going to have a collective sigh of relief. Like, it's done. We're going back to a normal track next week.
Yeah, it's usually not normal to hear, hey, we're taking the cup cars to dirt, so get ready, guys.
Yeah, pack those cars up and figure it out. Well, what do we do for setups? How do we drive this track? Figure it out. Well, they're figuring it out. And it looks like the lights are actually off on the pace car, so that's another good thing about these short tracks, man. These cautions, they don't last long. We get the yellow flag out, and we get back to the action pretty quick. Brandon Pierce is going to be leading them to the line again. 63 car is outside. Seems like Bryson's had a pretty solid second-place car thus far, but I'm keeping an eye on Delaney, man. He's made a lot of passes this week, and his car is still clean. I mean, there's no damage on that thing. And for him to... well, a little bit of front-end damage, but we'll ignore that. We didn't see that, John. It's all right. Uh, but he's made a lot of overtakes, and now starting on the inside of row 2, we're going to see what he can do as he gets on the loud pedal right behind Brandon Pierce. He's going to get right around Bryson Hixenbaugh on the bottom lane. Now running right in that middle groove where all that rubber is, as Brandon Pierce pulls away substantially coming out of the corner, got into the wall a little bit. Bryson Hixenbaugh almost to the bumper of Jonathan Delaney, as now John gets a huge run on the outside.
From the outside. Whoa,
what a move.
Yeah, exactly, Andre. That was a big move on the outside as we see some cars getting a little bit of trouble back there as the green flag's still going to stay out. But, man, what an awesome drive all the way on the outside of the tractor from the 90s. Everybody was getting all mixed up in front of him.
That was completely unexpected. We're going to go on board for a replay of this move. You can see he's a good 3 car lengths behind him going into the corner. And as they round this turn, man, he just gets on that throttle. You can see him working that steering wheel. And it all paid off in the end. He was able to take the lead where he still remains right now.
But look at that 63. He's coming back at him on that high lane right now. As he stuck it up there, looked like he was getting a run, but that non-car seemed to get a little bit better drive off the turn. As he sends it in there now. Whoa, big send from the 63.
Big send indeed. That right rear quarter panel, just a little love tap to the wall as Jonathan Delaney gets into the wall too. 100% driving Bryson Hixenbaugh in that 63 car. He is trying to get that lead, but man, these two drivers so close in pace, and this track so unpredictable. I'm telling you, Josh, you go into these corners, you know, the exact same way 2 times in a row. Yeah, and the car does something different.
Exactly. I noticed that earlier when I was practicing. His caution is out.
No,
we see a big hit there from the 38. And that was our leader for most of the race.
One of the fastest cars on the track, and it looks like he took a tow.
Indeed, he did.
Oh, no. We'll take a look at the replay here, see exactly what happened to Brandon as he's coming through the corner there, too wide with Chad Edwards, now the 83 car, making the move down low. Just gets into the wall. Oh, RJ Root.
Almost exactly what happened to... Who did that earlier?
Benefield. That was a very similar situation to Benefield. And Bird. Yeah, Bird. Those pit sand barrels, they are proven to be the
ender of all worlds tonight.
Yeah, they are the driver's worst nemesis. We joked last week about how Bryce Hoffman doesn't have any rivalries with drivers. He's just got rivalries with pit road, and it seems like every driver has a rivalry with pit road this week.
And the barrels come by. Nani, it's ready to fight. You know, they're swinging tonight. Those barrels came out. They said, hey, we saw y'all guys hitting the cones last week. We ain't taking that mess no more. Safety equipment crew stepping up and really taking out some cars tonight.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the 38 car. He's still in the race. He's in his pit stall right now. He may have engine damage. That hood is gone. That's probably the most damage I've seen out of a car yet this week. So it's going to be a lot of required repairs, unfortunately for him. We'll keep an eye on his car, see what he does. If he takes it behind the wall, gets back out on the track, we will let you know when it happens. And everybody else, they're just getting stacked back up. And you got to think, Josh, this has got to be throwing these guys out of their rhythm. This is all about trying to be consistent, trying to get in a groove, but that's hard to do when every 9-10 laps, you got another yellow flag. You got to slow it down and start all over again.
Indeed. I was going to say the same thing. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was thinking that it is really hard to get into a rhythm. I can just think of driving a track like Richmond or, you know, driving one of those tracks that are very flowy, even Bristol on asphalt, you know, just having to get in that flow, getting that rhythm, hitting that same line every time. It's just really throws a curveball in your strategy, in your head, all that. It just makes you feel kind of, you know, like, why am I doing this, man? Like, just let me keep leading. Stop spinning behind me. It kind of aggravates you up there. So it can bother these guys. You can see them start driving a little bit wilder here, but I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see if they can clean these cautions up. Besides, and it hasn't been anything too crazy. Just a little bit of racing incidents, as I would like to say. That was just some dirt short track racing right there, if I've ever seen it. But that's just what happens. In, you know, let's see if they can gather it back up and not get in that mental game too hard. We know, like you said, it's a rhythm track, and you can get in that mental game if you keep getting snapped out of it. So
absolutely. And as they round the corner out of 1 and 2, the pace lights are off. But I got to think an advantage to these cautions that maybe these drivers are kind of thinking about as well is that the more laps you run under caution, the less we run this track in. And I think all of these drivers would prefer the track being ran in to be prolonged as long as possible, because once this reaches about 50% track usage, that middle lane is going to be borderline undrivable. And you can see just how dark the middle of the track is getting already. So we're getting to that point. And every caution, as unfortunate as these cautions have been, they do prolong that rubber from being laid down. So we're going to see what happens as Jonathan Delaney with a huge jump. That's another thing about these cautions, Josh. When you're a driver like Jonathan Delaney and you got that short run speed, these cautions can be your saving grace.
Big run from the 63. Big run from the 63 on the bottom of the track, because the 9, he's going to take it to the high lane, and he's going to get on that apron. You see it getting almost around in the front end as the 9 of Jonathan Delaney, he's going to use that overtake again, right back around on the outside. Is the 57 just got a big shot from the 69 and the 12. They're going to stack up. They're going to keep it under green, but man, these guys are getting bumpy. See the 16 of Ryan Samuelson, he's now pulling up to the 63, and I think he's thinking the same thing as I'm getting back at you. But let's see, is the 57 and the 69 still going at it? Yeah, they are. As the 69 just got back into the wall again. The 12, he's coming back.
Cameron Stone. Close call for that 57 car. Now missing the entirety of his rear bumper. He almost hit those pit barriers there. As Mason Lowry now making his way around the outside. Not a great race so far for Cameron. He is taking a lot of hits, so to say. I mean, his car has gotten a lot of damage. Somehow, he's been able to keep that thing straightened out, and he's been able to keep fighting for a position. But, man, a lot of damage for that 57 so far as another battle breaks out ahead of him. And it's going to be Jimmy Costreras trying to take P4 away from David Medeiros. As Costreras back in the wall. We saw him in the wall quite a bit in the heat race. Just seems to be really struggling with that high line. As a battle for second place has now erupted. Josh, there's battles everywhere. Looks like Ryan Samuelson to the outside of the 63.
Turn 4 exit, he seems to keep getting way too low on the track, and he's hitting the apron a little bit. I must get the front end of that race car around, as you see 16 now getting a little bit of a gap. And yeah, McRae. Oh, we got a lot of stack up in turn 1 as the pace truck is back out.
Oh, man, that pace. Oh, no.
Oh.
What a mess.
Now driver Chad's lighting up for the first time tonight.
Man,
it's been pretty quiet, but I just saw it lighting up. That was insane.
Exit at turn 4 looked like a Walmart parking lot on Saturday morning, man. They were everywhere. We're going to take a look at a replay. This is not what caused the caution. This is what happened prior to that. Preston McRae in that 53 Reese's machine. Gorgeous car. Shame the front bumper is missing, but he's going to work his way through the corner. Big sideways, just misses those sand barrels. And then here is what actually brought out the caution. We're taking a look at... They were already wrecking. Yeah, they were already wrecking ahead of Wayne Grassy. And the 24... nowhere to really go. We're going to take a look at Kevin Steele as he works his way around the turn. Everything seems to be fine so far. I mean, everybody's kind of single file running their lines, and then as they come into the turn here, looks like a little bit of a contact from that 77, Dalton Mobley. And then, man, Tim Rail. I guess you could say Tim railed him.
Goodness, man. All right, that's a 5-second pause from the commentators because that joke was horrendously bad. But hey, we'll take it because that was a good one. It made me laugh. It was just a dad joke. It was a dad joke for sure. That was a good one. That's something I would say. I'm not gonna lie. That was a good one.
Riding on board with Wayne Grassy, who had nowhere to go there. Looks like we have, I believe. Yeah, he did. We got somebody on the infield care center. That's Brandon Pierce. Let's bring him up for an interview while these guys are pacing around. Brandon Pierce, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Brandon, you were easily the fastest car early in the race. The only driver, I think, thus far to have achieved a sub-17-second lap. And unfortunately, a small incident is pretty much what ended your night so far. A lot of engine damage, it would look like. Walk me through what happened.
Well, the restarts are really hard, waiting for your tires to get up to building that momentum, like any dirt track. So I lost a little track position, got back in the pack, had to check up, and then unfortunately I got tagged in the left rear and just drove into the pit wall. Pretty much ended our night. I'll get back out there and do some laps, but nothing's going to be competitive.
Absolutely heart-wrenching to see. Like I said, you were one of the fastest cars on the track early on, and just that little bit of contact, and those pit road barriers have claimed quite a few cars tonight. So just a shame to see. You said you're going to get back out there. How much required repairs do you have?
I had 8 minutes required, and I get another 5 minutes optional. So I'll be here for a few more minutes anyway. It's unfortunate, definitely had the fastest car on track. And I knew where my car was going to be at long run. Thought we had a chance tonight, but next, get an off week, get ready for Martinsville, and bring the DGR team back strong.
Absolutely. Well, we're sorry to see your race end that way, and hopefully you can get back out there, make some laps, maybe claim some points. And like you said, looking forward to Martinsville. Hopefully you have a good run there. But they're about to go green, so thanks for your time, Brandon, and good luck getting back out there.
Yep. Thanks, guys. You have a good one.
That was Brandon Pierce as the green flag is flown. Looks like we got a battle for the lead, Josh. Contact! Oh!
Did have a little bit of contact right there between the 16 and the 9, and that's going to open the door for the 63. He's trying to use that middle lane still, but it seems like that high lane is starting to form out. You see that Jonathan Delaney's been running. See in turn 1, he's taking it almost all the way up to the wall. He is getting the wall a little bit, as you see the 16 of Ryan Samuelson behind him. Or excuse me, that's the 60. Is that the 69 in third? Yeah. No, it's the 63. Okay, yeah, I had it correct. Sorry.
One thing I'm noticing, Josh, is that Bryson is committed to that low line. He seems to be running it every single time he can, unless there's a car down low and he has to run the high line. He's preferring that bottom lane, and that's just not where the speed is. That's quite evident by the fact that drivers like Jonathan Delaney and Ryan Samuelson, who are running the high line, are kind of driving away as we have another caution. Yellow flag is flown once again, but while we try and find a replay and see exactly what happened, back to what I was saying, I got to wonder if maybe running the low line is a matter of preservation. Maybe he's actually thinking about tire wear. I know it doesn't matter too much at a track like this, but it does play in. We're going to take a look at a replay, see what happened here. Looks like Dustin Hall in that number 1 car. Patrick Much in the wall ahead of him. And as they come down the straightaway there, they're going to be 2 wide, 2 rows deep. And it's a huge stack up in front of them. Spearheaded by, looks like that was Damaris Hickenbottom at the front of it. And Dalton Mobley involved. Cody Bird was in the middle of that. Not sure how he got involved there. He was kind of sandwiched between 2 cars. Taking another look at the replay here. So they come out of the turn there. Dalton Mobley get the car sideways. 2 sideways. Damaris Hickenbottom nowhere to go. Cody Bird nowhere to go. Just a huge accordion effect.
Yeah, that's just one of those no places to go. Kind of just have no time to react to something like that, and just you hate to see it, but hopefully these guys didn't get too much damage from that, and they're able to. You know, I think I see someone smoking, but I could be wrong. That could be the dirt kicking up from one of the cars.
Taking a look at the slow motion of this incident, I believe that's Damaris Hickenbottom in the 09. Cody Bird behind him, and just you can see Damaris tried to lock up those brakes. He tried to do everything he could to avoid him, but just there was nothing he could do. I mean, there was not a single input he could have made on that car that would have made an ounce of difference. Because with these dirt tracks, you know as well as I do, Josh, once your car is committed to running a certain lane, like that top lane, you can't deviate from it. You can't get it any lower. All you can do is maybe get it up a little bit further up the track. But when the guy that's wrecking is at the top of the track, that kind of removes any and all options of trying to avoid it.
Well, you saw exactly what those drivers did. Was really their only option: lift, hit the brake, and just hope the car stops. It seems like, a couple of those drivers got checked up in time, and Demarius didn't take too much of a hit. But then the rest of the field came in; they didn't see, and yeah, like you said, that just one of those things you can't really do on a dirt track is move lanes as fast as you would like to on an asphalt track, but. Once you're there, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, and the thing is, Bristol is about 60% corners, so you're pretty much committed to your line 60% of the time. Yep. There's just nothing you can do to avoid that. So, a shame for Damaris Hickenbottom and Cody Bird. I know Cody has just had some really poor luck this race. I mean, getting into the pit barrier there early in the race, now being involved in this. Definitely not running the race he wants to run. He's currently being scored, if my timing and scoring is correct. Why am I looking at practice times? I'm not sure. He's in P14 right now. I don't know why I had practice times pulled up, but running 14th. He gridded 17th, so he's up a few spots, but still, unfortunately, some bad luck is Jonathan Delaney is kind of having the opposite night of Cody Bird. He started a little bit further back. He was in row 4, I believe, now all the way up to the lead where he's been for the majority of this race ever since he was able to get around the leader. Now he's got some competition. That 16 on the high side has been bad fast on dirt. He was really quick. He won his heat race, and he he's been turning some good laps. So we're going to see as they take the green flag. Jonathan Delaney with a huge jump. Ryan Samuelson not going to let him get too far away. And these guys, man, the 16 and the 9. Whoa, bobble by the 16. Overcorrected it, rode the wall, now sliding down. He's going to be too wide with Bryson Hixenbaugh. Jimmy Costerellos behind him trying to join the battle.
I thought it was going to be a slide job.
I'm right there with you. I was expecting it, but it didn't quite come. And it goes back to the 63 just really being dedicated to that bottom line for better and for worse, as RJ Root nearly at the rear bumper of the 69. Jimmy Costerellos able to check up enough to avoid contact.
What they're reckoning for?
Oh.
Well, like Adam Benefield got sideways, but he gathered it back up, and they are still going on a green.
Yeah, Benefield, he's way back in the grid. He was back to 10th place. He was further up. He's got a lot of damage to the rear end of that car. As we're riding currently, where we were on board with RJ Root there in that number 8 car, he has been absolutely on the move. I mean, he's been battling it out with these guys pretty much 24/7. Oh! And there he goes. Outside wall. So that's going to get Bryson Hixenbaugh up another position there. He's back up to 3rd. And the battle for the lead is actually a lot closer than what we've seen in the previous runs, Josh. I mean, we only got about 0.2 seconds between them, and they're both running very similar lines. I mean, these guys are glued to that top line right now.
Yeah, it seems like Ryan Samuelson is chasing that cattail with Jonathan Delaney. He's been running that same line as Delaney and just kind of sticking it on his door, saying, hey, you can run there, so can I, buddy. Watch this. You said he won his heat race, so he's probably very, very, very confident in whatever he can do in the late run, mid-run. It feels like he's probably just got a lot of confidence inside that 16 machine right now, so probably just trying to play with his food.
Absolutely. Samuelson, a driver that definitely was looking forward to this race, and you can see why. He has a fast car right now, but man, a lot of dust up ahead on the track. I'm not sure if that's from lap traffic or if somebody got into an incident there ahead of them, but they're going to be in lap traffic. If this green flag run continues, Josh, I'm looking ahead of the number 9. He is not very far away from a cluster of cars.
Indeed, they are starting to pull up towards the back of the pack, and this is where the fun begins. It's all fun and games when you're out there leading in clean air, but then when you get the lap traffic coming up and you got a guy on your back bumper that's been itching to get by, it's about to get rowdy up there in the lead.
Absolutely. And watching the battle for the lead, I'm noticing a very stark difference in these two cars and the way that they're set up. Jonathan Delaney is kind of sideways all the way throughout the corner, and he maintains a consistent rotation angle as he drifts through the turn. Whereas the 16, his car, the front end seems to want to snap back to the front. Like, he's got a lot of front end grip that's just trying to bring that car back around and prevent it from sliding. And while it looks like it would be slowing him down, it actually
big run right now, though. Sorry.
A bit of an advantage to have that car have a little bit more of a tight front end. He's not getting as sideways as Jonathan Delaney, big sideways in the middle lane. I'm not sure why he's moved down. He was choosing to run the middle lane for the last couple laps, and it has cost him a lot of time, as now Samuelson is right on his bumper. And Bryson Hixenbaugh.
Yeah, that middle lane looks like it's starting to work out for Hixenbaugh. Sorry, Andre, I don't mean to cut you off, but man, these guys are starting to get racy up there before they even get to the lap traffic.
Absolutely, and by all means, cut me off whenever, because I don't want to be talking too much. So, yeah, no, that 63 running that middle line. I gotta wonder, Josh, do you think that Bryson has been running that low line because he's trying to get it run in?
Whoa, Bryson just got really sideways.
Samuelson hard into the outside wall.
As you see, look at them 3 wide ahead of the leaders right here. I bet they're not ready to get into that hornet's nest.
Oh no, it's gonna be chaos once they get up there. I mean, Ryan Samuelson into the wall again there a little bit, but right now this battle I think is going to be kind of determined by this lap traffic. They are 2 and 3 wide in front of the leaders. One of them getting into the wall in front of Jonathan Delaney. John had to check up a little bit there. Oh man, this is getting interesting.
16's trying to use that. He's riding the wall a little bit, but he gets the car out of there. As they are going to be side by side going into turn 3 right here. It's going to be fun to see if that high lane's going to work. The 9 on the middle, the 16 on the outside. They're going to be side by side again. 16's got the better run. He's going to clear the 9 right there, so he's going to take the lead. He said
they're going to go 3 wide.
There goes 9 right back on the inside. The 16 coming back.
Oh,
And that
what
was
a
a
move.
slide job, and they weren't even at the top of the track.
Oh man, that was crazy. The fact that John got that car to stick and there was no contact there, that was some heads-up driving by Samuelson to just not run over the 9, and he was actually able to lift there a little bit. But man, wow.
As the 16's got a big run back, they might make contact with it. Like you said, Samuelson, he's very aware of his surroundings, and he's done a great job keeping his race car off of everybody else's.
Samuelson up to the lead. That's going to put Jonathan Delaney back into second place, but with a little bit of clear track ahead of him, at least for the next lap or two. We're going to have to wait and see. Can Jonathan Delaney get back around him? I think John's a little bit quicker as we're at 5 to go in the stage. I think John's a little bit quicker in clean air, but through the traffic, it seems like Samuelson did a masterful job navigating that traffic, using them as a pick.
Bryson Hixenbaugh, he's trying to get that low lane hooked up here. He's really starting to send it in on that low lane, and I think he's looking for a slide job here soon.
Absolutely. He's been closing in kind of quietly this whole time. And like I was mentioning before, things got a little chaotic there. I was talking about, I got to wonder if maybe Bryson's been committed to that low line because he wanted to get it ran in, because he knew everybody else was going to be running the top and they were going to be kicking the dirt off the top lane. But down low where nobody else is, there's some grip down there, and you can see that he found the grip.
He just drove that thing like it was normal Bristol, man. That car was hooked up.
He did. He really did. I mean, he didn't get sideways at all there.
They are battling for the lead here with 2 to go before the stage end. As Bryson Hixenbaugh sends it in.
Samuelson.
The 13 is going to pinch the 16 in the wall. The 9 is going to get hit by the 13. Now the 16's coming back at the 63 of Hixenbaugh as they're going to go into turn 3 and 4. And the 16's going to slide. He's going to go up into the wall. The 63 is going to come back in with a crossover. We've got 1 to go. 2 to go. Excuse me.
Bryson with 2 to go, running that low line. The 16 continually in the wall. Just getting the big run out of the corner of the 63. Now a little bit more lap traffic. That's Brandon Pierce. He is back out on the track, as you can see. And man, that top line working for Samuelson for now. As they cross the line, this is going to be the last lap of stage 1. Once 10 cars have completed this lap, the caution flag will fly. That'll be the stage. But it looks like Ryan Samuelson is going to take stage 1, barring anything crazy happening through 3 and 4. Bryson's going to give it a huge lunge on the bottom, and he's going to close in a lot. But not enough, Josh. He's going to finish P2 in the stage. Ryan Samuelson taking the win. And looks like Jonathan Delaney bringing it home 3rd. Oh, no, John in 3rd again. Finishing the stage P3 behind him. A lot of lap traffic here, but Devin Medeiros actually finishing P4, so he kind of silently moved up through the grid there. RJ Root P5. Adam Benefiel up to P7, I believe, behind Jimmy Costrello's P6. Cameron Stone P8. Mason Lowry 9th. Bryce Hoffman's going to round out your top 10 for the drivers who will get stage points.
And a good little run there from Ryan Samuelson to win this stage 1. And looked like he was going to lose it there right there with that contact with Cody Bird in turn 1 and 2. Hixenbaugh seemed to get around him, but the 16 just came back hard into turn 1. And see that he's not taking tires. It's Bryson Hixenbaugh. He jumps in. He's going to take tires.
Absolutely. A lot of these drivers probably. Yeah, actually, we only got 2 cars down pit road. I was going to say a lot of drivers probably valuing the tires, but it looks like Cameron Stone, Adam Benefiel, and Bryson are pretty much the only lead lap cars that have opted to pit. Going to be curious to see once the pit road is open for the lap cars who decides to come down then.
We got a couple more down. Bryce Hoffman, Mason Lowry, Chad Edwards, Cameron Stone, Bryson Hixenbaugh, and Adam Benefield are on pit lane right now.
So we're going to try and find Ryan Samuelson in his team chat, have a quick word with him before we get back green. Let's see if we can find him. And there he is. Okay, we got him. Ryan Samuelson, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. Hey, what's up, guys?
Man, I'm not sure you're actually driving a car out there because it kind of looks like a rocket ship. You are hooking that high line, and it has been working out pretty well all night long. How's the car feeling out there, man?
It feels great, man. It kind of set the car up towards it wouldn't be too out of control at this point in the race. Feels great. I dialed racing here. I've had a blast. I had a blast racing here this week, and I'm so looking forward to the rest of the race.
Absolutely. So you think you're going to maintain this speed as the track starts to wear off, or what's your battle plan going forward with the rubberized track coming in?
Now the plan is just, try to find as much grip as possible. It's definitely tough out there. It's already pretty slick as it is. 80 laps into a 250 lap race.
Absolutely.
But it was a blast battling Delaney and Bryce. When I passed up Bryson for second, at some point in the race, it was I couldn't believe I passed Bryson for the first time ever on like on the same tires for a position. So that was a shocker to me. And then battling with Delaney and getting in the lap traffic was so fun, man.
All right, Ryan. Well, we're glad to hear you're having fun, and we're excited to see what you can do going forward. I'm pulling for you, man. We're gonna let you get back to your team chat. We're gonna be going green pretty quick here. So again, congratulations on your stage win, and good luck with the rest of the race. And that was your stage winner, Ryan Samuelson. We got him back in his team chat. Looks like we got a situation breaking out, Josh. This was under caution.
See what happens here.
Oh. Did he blow an engine, do you think? Maybe he shifted?
I don't think. I think it would have saw the smoke, but not sure what happened there. Maybe a issue with like rig or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to speculate. That was a strange situation. It could have been a rig issue, like you said. That's probably the best bet. Or maybe a mechanical failure of some sort, something on the suspension. I don't know. But regardless, that is 2 weeks in a row that Wayne Grassi has had some unfortunate luck. He had a disconnect last week after running pretty well at Atlanta in the early portions of the race. And now, with that situation breaking out, but it's going to be Bryson Hixenbaugh this time leading them to the green. And Adam Benefield right behind him in P2. Bryson down on the apron, using it almost to his advantage. He got a pretty good run coming out of the corner, but now a huge overcorrect.
See the 9 of Jonathan Delaney driving it down on that apron. He's going to pass the 56 of Mason Lowry, and he's going to work his way up there to the back bumper of Adam Benefield and shoot it down into turn 1. It looks like he's just hooking that thing up in the low lane and sending it through.
Yeah, he's making moves almost identical to what Bryson was doing earlier in the race, just trying to hook those left side tires in that that layer of dust down there where the grip is, because nobody's really been driving there. He's able to get around Adam Benefield, but now Benefield is right on his bumper. As they come through the corner, it looks like Benefield is just fighting loose. That car, the rear end, wants to stick out a whole lot in the center of that corner, and that's costing him time. As Jonathan Delaney now migrating back up to the high line where he's pretty much spent the majority of the race. He's really loving that top lane, and there's a lot of speed to be had up there. So it's a bit of a gap up to the leader right now. It's about 1.1 seconds, but with as fast as John has been, I'm curious to see if he can close this gap.
See, he's sending it on that high lane right now. A little bit in the wall, but he gets it off. Shooting it down towards that middle lane a little bit as he's going to try to, like you said, to make up that ground towards Bryson. And Bryson still seems like he's committed towards that low lane, as you see Jonathan still sticking it up there towards the wall like he has been almost all day.
Absolutely. And that high line, getting stuck on that wall, it is something that can happen. It's one of the risks that you run when you take your car up to that high line. But luckily, Jonathan Delaney didn't have too many issues getting off of it. We've seen earlier in the race with a few drivers just trying to get off the wall. They crank the left side of the wheel there, and it just kind of shoots the car down the track, and that can cause a whole mess of issues. But luckily, the 9 car not really dealing with any of that quite yet. Adam Benefield still running P3, and it's quite a ways back to the next cluster of cars, but it looks like Bryce Hoffman running P4 as they go nearly 3 wide. That's going to be Jimmy Costarellos and RJ Root trying to make the move on the 21. Now they're going to remain door-to-door going through the corner. The 69 car running that middle lane and loving it. He closed the gap quite a bit to that 21. The 8 car with a huge run down the straightaway. RJ Root making the moves.
RJ Root is really sticking it up there on that high line. You see the 69 starting to fall in as well, but 16 of Ryan Samuelson, our stage 1 winner, starting to work his way back up through traffic, pitted a little bit later than some of the on the second time around, so lost a little bit of position under that caution, but he's starting to work his way back up through the field as we ride on board with that A car of Raymond Root right now. You see him dialing it in on that low lane, really trying to find where he needs to run. He's been on the high lane, low lane, the apron, all in the last couple laps. So starting to see these drivers really try to find where that grip is and where they need to get those race cars set in at to get the pace picked up. See the 16 of Ryan Samuelson, he gets a big run out of turn 2 right there, and he's into the back of the 21, shoves the 21 of Bryce Hoffman up into the turn 3 wall. So that's going to open the door for Mason Lowry right there. He's going to come by.
Yeah, that seemed like that bump actually cost the 16 a little bit more than it cost the 21. And that's something that happens at these dirt tracks, Josh. Sometimes you hit somebody's bumper, and instead of pushing them out of the way, your rear end just wants to kick out because of that weight shift. So kind of bit Samuelson a little bit there, but man, that car is still fast. He's closed that gap right back up. We're going to take a look at a replay to kind of get a better look at what happened between the 16 and the 21. Or no, the 77. This is Dalton Mobley. This is a different event. Dalton Mobley minus the hood, working his way down the straightaway outside of the 48. Jacob Adams getting that nice slider through the high line. A little bit of a fishtail there. We have to see exactly what transpired. Oh, looks like he disconnected Josh.
Yeah, I do see that, yeah. So maybe that was picking it up as a crash as we're coming through.
And it looks like, just an update on Wayne Grassy, he has lagged out of the session. So a bad night gets worse. As, whoa, the 16, hard contact with Jimmy Costrellis. That was a door slam if I have ever seen one. Man, oh man, I cannot believe those two drivers drove away from that one. As now the 21 going to add insult to injury on that 69 car. We'll take a look at a replay here, Josh. This was a wallop right here, coming through the straightaway. You see that 16 setting up the overtake. He wants to make the move. And through the corner,
Ooh.
Boom.
Well, one thing I have noticed about the 69 these past couple laps is he's been getting into the turn, but it seems like his run's stalling out. He hasn't really been able to find the grip, so that could have been what happened there. As he was getting through the turn, it just seemed to that run just stalled out, and the car kind of just, yeah, I don't know really how to explain it. If you drive dirt cars, you understand what I'm saying. It just kind of bogs down. It doesn't want to make it through the turn anymore, and it seems like that run just stalled, and the 16 just really shot up into him right there.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to keep those revs up. Like you said, if you get a little bit too sideways and get too much wheel spin, that'll bog your engine down a lot, and your revs will go down, and that just takes away the torque and all the power that you have to drive out of the corner. And when you have less drive out of the corner in a track like this, where the exit is basically just a method of setting yourself up for the next entry, that'll cost you for the next half of a lap. I mean, that's just a momentum loss that carries through for quite a while. So I think you hit the nail on the head there, Josh. I think that's exactly what's going on with that 69 car. Like, it's just a little bit too loose, and he's getting too much wheel spin.
Yeah, sorry if my dirt terminology isn't caught up. I'm going to have to get caught up now. I mean, man, I'm going to have to learn a lot more about dirt racing than I thought I was ever going to have to. But, yeah, I'm going to have to get caught up here so I don't make myself sound dumb on live air, man.
Yeah, that's our job, man. That's half of our jobs, is to make ourselves sound dumb for the viewers.
Hey, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Why am I listening to him?
Oh, man. See, the key is just to say crazy stuff every now and again. But if you say it confidently enough, they'll believe every word out of your mouth. I
guess you're right. Bryson Hixenbaugh just slammed the wall. I mean, slammed the wall.
He really did. You caught that. I mean, I seen it out of the corner of my eye, and now, whoa, caution.
See the 53 or 56 of Mason Lowry around right there. As, man, you're gonna have to see we're gonna have to see that 63 hitting the wall as well, because that was a big hit too. I mean, he knocked the crap out of the wall.
Yeah, he's calibrating it, figuring out where it was, and we'll take a look at a replay here and see what happened with Mason Lowry. It looks like Jimmy Costrellis behind him. I think I know where this is headed. I just have an inkling of a notion as to where this might be headed, and I was right. Yep. A little bit of a closing rate issue there. The 69 closed in on the 56 maybe a little bit quicker than he was expecting.
Hixenbaugh's down pit lane this time with Delaney as well.
That's kind of surprising to me. I don't wonder why they're pitting at this point.
Is this the Jonathan Delaney replay? Yeah, look. Man, just...
Ooh. That was a hard hit.
Oh, did I say something wrong? I'm sorry. Oh, my fault.
I mean, I've literally said that somebody owned the totally incorrect team before, so I wouldn't beat yourself up.
Oh, it's I'm just too ahead of myself right now, seeing all these wrecks, seeing
it's hard, man. It gets you frazzled. There's so much action, and you're just excited,
I always well, when I watch dirt racing live, I'd always think, man, these are commentators that at the stadiums and stuff. They're like, or the short tracks out there, they're getting hyped. You can hear them over the TV and stuff. There's the guys like you can hear them over the main TV commentators, and now I see why, because this is awesome.
Absolutely. And I got to wonder, though, going back to Bryson Hixenbaugh making his way down pit road, as well as I believe it was Delaney that joined him. I could be wrong. That's kind of a weird strategy call. I know nothing about how these tires are going to come into effect. I don't know how the tire wear affects the cars. I'm not a dirt guy. I also don't know what their fuel situation is. I don't know how much different the car handles with a full tank of fuel and more weight versus an empty tank and then less weight. So there is any number of things that these guys could be doing that kind of prompted them to come down pit road. But it looks like Costarellis as well. Or maybe Josh, maybe the answer is a little bit simpler than anything I'm thinking. Maybe it was just damage. I mean, you pointed out the 63 pounded that outside wall. I mean, it was like a Denny's breakfast, man. Grand slam to that outside wall. Now making his way down pit road, maybe getting that fixed up.
Indeed, he is going to need to get something on that Band-Aid, something, because that was a hard lick to the outside wall. But if anything, we've seen Bryson. We know he's got the speed. We know he's got the talent. He should be able to get that thing back up through here. But so far, it's going to be Adam Benefield. He's going to be out lead.
Going to be the first time all race long he's been out front, and going to have to see if he can keep it. He's going to have some challenge from behind for sure. He's got RJ Root, looks like in second place, as Mason Lowry is going to be the free pass. I believe that's going to put him back up on the lead. Yes, it will put him on the lead lap in P11. Next in line for the free pass, by the way, as they stand, is Cody Bird. He is the first car lap down as they stand, although he does have Jacob Adams also one lap down, starting right next to him, so that'll be a battle for the lucky dog. And I'm pretty sure, Josh, that there will be another lucky dog. I don't think we're going to go completely green for the rest of this.
Oh, for sure we don't go completely green, but they're starting to get that these green flag runs settled out as you see it. They're looking a lot more confident on the track as we come back to green. Adam Benefield, he's going to hesitate, as you saw a bunch of our drivers getting big restarts. He hesitated a little bit, maybe trying to keep that car under him, and he's going to send it off into turn one, as you see 2 wide, 3 wide, a little bit there between the 21-12 and 8, but they're starting to dig. As Jonathan Delaney, he's got a massive run off the backstretch with the 57.
He absolutely does. He's going to maneuver around. Whoa!
Oh, yeah. We got a spinner back there like the 12.
That is the number 12, I believe, driven by Medeiros. Devin Medeiros. He got, I don't know if he got some help there or if he just got a little too sideways, but I'm pretty sure I said Devin. But that, we talked about having another lucky dog. Well, I believe Cody Bird did get that luck. Yes, Cody Bird was the next lucky dog in line. So that happened a little bit quicker than we expected. But yes, a little bit of help to that 12 car. And oh, man. Oh, no. Kevin Steele. He stopped perfectly. And then a little bit more chaos behind him. I'll tell you what, that 24 is looking pretty clean at this point, Josh. It's got to be one of the few cars left without too much damage.
Yeah, indeed. And had a little bit of damage, got a little bit of damage right here. So not a clean race car anymore, as we're going to see how big that hit was from his onboard. As you see him get checked up, and then the 9, he just kind of scraped the side of it. So maybe a little bit of quarter panel damage, but nothing that's going to really kill that race car probably.
Tis but a scratch. Oh, yeah, that is some rear end damage. Oof. That, again, I don't see damage playing into the handling of these cars too much. I mean, especially when you got drivers like Cameron Stone up there in third, who has no rear bumper and almost no front bumper, and he's still running in a podium position. So, again, damaged cars, as long as the engine's all right, I would say you're pretty much good to go. I mean, the leader, Adam Benefield, he doesn't have a rear bumper. There's a lot of cars out here that don't have any bumpers, and the Racing Warehouse is going to want to be buying this up for resale, all this sheet metal.
Indeed, there's going to be a lot of A lot of beat up sheet metal getting cut off these cars for the end of the week, that's for sure. There is a lot of beat up race cars out there, but Adam Benefield, he's still going to hold on to that lead. But Jonathan Delaney moved up to that second spot. Raymond Root fell back to fourth on that restart. But seeing Ryan Samuelston start to make his way back up through the field.
Yeah, he is working his way up through there. And I think before too long, as long as he can get a long enough green flag run, he'll be up there. I mean, he's starting inside row 3. So Jonathan Delaney got the lead from further back than that. So we'll have to see if Ryan Samuelson can emulate that. And speaking of Delaney, he's going to be starting on the outside of row 1. Going to see if he can go on the attack, get around Adam Benefield. I definitely think that 9 car is a little bit stronger than that 83, but having the fast car doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make the pass here. I mean, this track is getting so worn in. You can see it almost looks like regular Bristol. The rubber's been laid down so much that it's actually got a bit of a gloss to it in that middle lane where all that rubber is. So when you see that, you know, the track's getting looser and looser and a little bit more unpredictable. So it's going to be kind of a battle just to keep the car straight, let alone try and make an overtake for the lead. The lights are off on the pace truck, rounding 3 and 4. About to get back green flag racing, Josh.
Indeed, and this is going to be lap 115 of 250 here at Bristol Dirt. As Adam Benefield, he's going to get back on the loud pedal, but Jonathan Delaney looks like he got a massive restart on that outside lane.
That was a beautiful start on the outside to stay side by side with him now. Coming out of the corner, he's going to get the run out of that high line. Oh, a little bit of an overcorrection. Not the best corner entry, but he's going to recover it. Now, again, he's going to get the run down the straightaway. Can he get clear of him? Yes, he does.
Oh, yeah. He was way getting clear. That was a massive run. Did you see Raymond Root sending it to the top of the track? He's starting to get a little bit of a run off it, too, with the 57 of Cameron Stone as well. He's starting to fall back, but that 83 of Adam Benefield still holding on to second. Let's see if he can hold on for too long because he's got a lot of fast race cars starting to come up behind him. But that 8 car, need for speeding around the wall right there as he's going to grab second position.
RJ Root's been fast all night long, and despite the wall taps there, he's kept the car relatively clean. And now as Jonathan Delaney gets into the wall ahead of him, he's got an opportunity here. He's going to take the high line. Can he get the run out of the corner almost to his quarter panel? Looks like something happened with Costarellos. He is reversing into pit road, and that's going to cause a caution. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I thought that pace truck was I thought it was a car. I thought somebody was about to go around.
That was scary. That's the second time that pace truck scared me today.
Taking a look at the on board here and look at this replay. Happens here. I'm gonna assume contact with the wall right here. Oh, with the 46. Luckily, the 46 was able to gather it back up. It looked like maybe hit the barrels.
That is the second time the 69 of Jimmy Costrellis has had a, we'll say a closing rate issue, and it's difficult, man, on these dirt tracks. When the guy in front of you checks up, it's so difficult to get your car slowed down because you lock up the brakes. That's your instinct, is to lock up the brakes, and when you do, it just slides forward. It doesn't really slow the car down, and you can't really deviate from your lane like we talked about. So for Jimmy Costarellos, that was just an unfortunate situation of the car ahead of him just checking up a little bit, and it was a racing deal. I mean, it's going to happen a lot at these tracks. It already has happened quite a bit tonight, and it's frustrating as a driver, but man, these dirt tracks, that's the kind of stuff that happens.
Yeah, and that 69 car, it's going to be even harder to drive. As you saw on the end of that replay, he took a little bit of extra contact there from the 17. Looks like it has no rear spoiler on it now, so he's going to be... That is illegal, isn't it?
Yeah, I do believe you have to have a rear spoiler. I think that's something you have to have.
I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works in iRacing. I mean, he should get black flag for repairs, right?
Right. I would think that's a repair black flag. Just as in real life, you would have to... basically, you can cut off anything on that body in real life NASCAR except for the rear deck lid. You have to have that. You have to have the spoiler. It affects the aerodynamics. And it can actually give you a bit of an advantage in real life sometimes to not have that rear spoiler because you're going to be faster in a straight line. Of course, the car is going to be a mess in the corners, but that's beside the point. So we're going to see what happens with Costarellos. If he makes his way down pit road, if he takes a free pass here, what's going to happen?
I mean, if it doesn't make him pit, I'm just ready to see how loose that thing is going to be. It's going to be fun to see a car with no rear spoiler trying to wheel it around here.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful with that rear end, too, because because his fuel cell's exposed. He doesn't want to take too many hits there because there's going to be gasoline all over the track if he takes a bump. Looks like he's not going to make his way down pit road. Man, that's a strange situation, and that's going to be... He's going to go around. He's taking a wave around. I'm not sure if he's going to catch up to the tail end of the field. If he's going to go down pit road, we're going to... Yeah, he's gonna go around and catch up to the tail end of the field, and it looks like Preston McRae is down pit road. Just to note, he got the hood back on that car, so a little bit of a repair to that 53. He's making his way out, and it's gonna be, I believe, Jonathan Delaney and RJ Root leading the way this time. Cameron Stone up to third. It seems like Cameron Stone has improved a lot over the course of this race. He was struggling early on, got involved in a lot of incidents, as you can tell by the lack of a bumper, but now restarting the road too is Jonathan Delaney with a phenomenal start.
Yeah, big restart there from the 9. Got about 4 car lengths out as they're starting to shrink up to him as he didn't get his entry as he wanted to in 1, and that allowed the 8 to get a little bit of pace back on him as the 57. Now he's got a big run on the outside of Adam Benefield, and you see Ryan Samuelson starting to work his way back up there. Woo, door to door with the 57 right there coming off of 4.
Absolutely. Benefield now falling to the clutches of Ryan Samuelson and Cameron Stone. They're 2 wide behind him, jockeying for position. And Benefield having to go on defense here. We're going to see, can he defend against Samuelson? We know that car is fast. That's 16. He can hook the high line and get a run out of the corner like nobody else, save for maybe Jonathan Delaney. And he has a lot of speed there. So 83 still playing the defense. He's managed to fend off the 16 thus far. And he's actually closed in a little bit to RJ Root. So if Benefield gets up to second place, we may well have a 3-way battle for P2 here.
Indeed, you see Bryson Hixenbaugh just a couple cars back from them. He's worked his way back up from that damage as well. So, or that earlier crash into the wall. Now, I don't know how much damage he did have, but it seems like he's got that race car fixed up some and picking the pace back up. He's worked his way back up to 6th spot. You see now that is a 3-way battle for the first position as the 8 of Raymond Root right on the back bumper of Jonathan Delaney. He's going to come out 2 wide down the front stretch as Adam Benefield's going to shoot it to the inside lane. They're all running different lines, and they're all making speed as you see the 8. He's got a big run coming off the top lane there out of turn 2. He's going to shoot it up the back bumper of Jonathan Delaney, maybe into the wall. As you see the 16 coming in. Bryson Hixenbaugh, the 57, all back there getting loose. Man, this is starting to become a show.
Oh, yeah. It's getting good now. I mean, Adam Benefield really trying to work the bottom lane and get around RJ Root. And every time he gets through the center of the corner so fast, it looks like he's going to be able to do it. But just not quite as we go on board of the rear bumper of your leader, Jonathan Delaney. He has pulled away a little bit as the 83 and the 8 have continued to battle. Adam Benefield, RJ Root side by side. RJ Root into the wall again a little bit there. Seems like the top lane, Josh, is getting harder and harder to maintain.
3 and 4, he's making it work so good. He's getting such massive runs down the front stretch. You see right there, almost touching the wall. And watch the run he's going to get coming out of 4 here. Almost clears him, but like you said, every time in 1 and 2, he's going to... It gets in that wall again, and it just kills that momentum, and that's what's making that 83 back on his door right there. As he gets a little bit of a better run, he might clear him now for good if he gets a good run out of 4 here, up into the wall a little bit.
Got to get a bit of a run here as he does a little bit of wall riding.
They almost made contact.
That was definitely a close call as the 8 car is still running that high line. He's going to shoot out of the corner here. He just can't quite get clear of him. I mean, these guys are so close in pace, and they're doing this. And there goes Jonathan Delaney sailing into the sunset right now. So I'm sure both these guys want to get clear as he does. Now maybe they can kind of get single file and focus more on catching the leader because that battling isn't helping either of them.
Yeah, he's almost got a 1.5 second gap formed on Raymond or RJ Root, Raymond Root, whatever we're calling him. Sorry. Adam Benefield and then Ryan Samuelson. He's starting to get a little bit of a gap, but Samuelson hasn't seemed like he's been able to find a spot on the track he's comfortable with. Was starting to pick up speed there at the early run, but now it's starting to fall out, it seems like.
Well, and it could be that Samuelson has a bit more of a long run car. Maybe he takes a while to get that car wound up. Big sideways for Samuelson. Lost a lot of time there. About half a second. Just clipped that apron, got a little sideways, had to recover it. As on your screen, you're looking at Adam Benefield and RJ Root still continuing to race it out, although a little bit more separated now than they were before. And they are trying to run down Jonathan Delaney, but Jonathan Delaney still pulling away, as now we're looking at the battle between Cameron Stone and Mason Lowry. That was those drivers on your screen there, and a little bit of a gaggle of cars there. I believe that's Bryson Hixenbot, the tail end of that train. He's going to be trying to get around Mason in that 56 car. They come through the corner, Cam favoring that middle line, Mason favoring the bottom, and now there goes Bryson, who we haven't really seen run the top too much tonight. He seems to be trying to make it work. He's kind of running different lanes every time, trying to find the speed to see what works. He's just not quite able to close the gap to that 56 quite yet.
And Raymond Root now under a second from Jonathan Delaney. He's starting to make up time on that non-car. See him willing it out of turn 2. He was on that high lane. He's been running that high lane to success. Been watching him these last couple laps. He's starting to really find the pace up there.
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot of pace on that high line. Jonathan Delaney, we saw him run the high line so much earlier in the race. Now he seems to be favoring the bottom when he's not battling with anybody. And I don't know if that's just a comfort thing. Maybe his car feels a little bit more stable down there despite being a little bit slower. Or if he feels like that's where the speed is contact between Tim Rail and Damaris Hickenbottom. They were able to keep it straight, though. They kept it going. That actually kind of played out to the benefit of Delaney. He was able to get around them pretty quick. Didn't have to worry about passing them or taking the right line there. He just kind of motored on by him. And obviously, the lap traffic was kind of what cost Jonathan Delaney the stage 1 win there when he was in the lead. That lap traffic was his arch nemesis. So this time around, maybe a little bit more luck.
So we've got this 3-way battle for the second place position. Is Adam Benefield on that low lane? They're going to be door-to-door coming out of turn 2. As you see, the 8 getting a really good run. He's just getting that high lane working. He's up into the wall a little bit there, takes some big contact, but able to gather it back up and get back on the gas pedal, and he's right back past the 83.
Samuelson is a part of this battle as well. I mean, he lost a lot of time getting sideways a few laps ago. He made that time all back up. I mean, he's right here battling for second as they got lap cars ahead of him. That's Preston McRae, the 83, having to make an evasive maneuver up the track, as does the 16. That's going to bottleneck these guys as Raymond Root getting a huge run on the outside. That shook things up. That even held up Delaney a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah, they're starting to make up ground on Delaney, so seems like either something's going on inside his race car or, I don't know, these guys are just finding the pace behind him, but Delaney was starting to lose that gap. Now it seems like he's starting to gain again. Could have just been that lap traffic, though, like you were saying.
Yeah, that lap traffic definitely being a key factor here, trying to navigate it as smoothly as you can. But right now, Ryan Samuelson is on the bumper of the number 8, and I tell you what, if he wants to overtake Adam Benefield, he's going to have to get through Raymond Root first, because if he can't, I think 83 is going to be driving away pretty quick here. He's got a lot of pace. He seems to have got something figured out. He has been slowly closing in on the leader. And, the 16 with near contact. I don't think they actually touched there. That was close. 16 really hooking that bottom lane. Seems to have costed him a little bit of speed. I think right now that the middle lane really is the fastest part of the track. The top lane, a little bit too inconsistent, too difficult to run. The bottom lane, just not enough speed down there. You're kind of scrubbing your tires. So the middle lane, while it's really slick and difficult to run, I think that might be where the speed is.
Sorry, I saw we were focused on Jonathan Delaney, but saw the 16. He just sent a big one into turn 3 as we got 5 to go in this stage 2. As you see the 16 right now, that's Ryan Samuelson. He was our stage 1 winner, currently sitting P4 as we got the battle between Adam Benefield and Raymond Root going on.
RJ Root still working that high line. He's been committed to it all race long, and it's been working out pretty well. Got a huge run out of the corner that time, now opting to run the middle line as there is a lap car in Patrick Much up ahead, the 46 car. Looks like Benefield is going to get around him no problem. Now it's up to the number 8 to try and do the same as lap traffic checks up the leader big time. The number 12 costing Jonathan Delaney so much time right there. That's going to allow Benefield to close the gap even further. And again, nothing the 12 car did wrong there. That was not anything that the lap traffic did wrong. When you are the leader, it is your responsibility to try and choose whatever lane the lap traffic is not in and navigate them cleanly. If the lap car goes low and you go low as well, that's not the lap car's fault. So definitely nothing that the number 12 did wrong. And I'm sure Jonathan Delaney is still frustrated as now Jimmy Costarello's going another lap down there. He's going to be getting himself in the picture for just a moment.
Whoa, the 69's going around.
Oh, he tagged Samuelson.
But like,
Patrick Mute. And that's going to give Delaney the stage win. I believe they're going to call the stage there. After Delaney makes his way down pit road and gets back out on track, we'll probably have a quick word with him, but it's going to be a few minutes from now. We're going to take a look at a replay here, Josh. Let's see what happened.
As we see the no spoiler bandit really getting into the turn sideways. You see it loosen that thing back up, and it's just snapping around. He got a little bit of contact with the 8, got in contact with the 16, hit the wall. Unfortunate there for the 69.
Just struggling with that car all night long, it seems like. It's been a rough night for Jimmy Costerellos. And Jimmy, he's a great asphalt racer. I've seen some great performances out of him on the pavement. Seems like dirt, maybe not where he's comfortable, you know. And a lot of these drivers, they don't have much dirt experience, and it is a difficult discipline when you come in here and you don't have the experience that maybe some of these other guys have. When you have the talent that we have in this league, I mean, we've got a very strong strength of field. We've got drivers that are phenomenal at what they do, and they're still having a rough go of it. And that just shows how difficult this track is and how difficult dirt racing in general can really be.
Well, I think it has something to do as well with these cars weren't built for dirt racing. They weren't, you know, the horsepower packages that these cars are running with this track. I mean, man, it's just these cars make so much power. And as Jonathan Delaney, he is staying out. We're gonna go ahead and drag him up in and talk to our stage 2 winner.
Gonna see if we can find him in his chat. Okay, I think I found him. And Jonathan Delaney, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you on here.
All right, so you are the stage 2 winner. Came a little bit early. The caution came out, and that pretty much ended the stage. The car's looking pretty good out there. I've noticed you've kind of migrated from the top of the track down to the bottom. What's the mindset there?
So the bottom, it still has a little bit of grip in it. If you're able to get like your left rear kind of on the apron, you're able to get a little bit of grip and get some drive off. Now the top, RJ was able to run it, and he wasn't doing too bad, but to get the grip, you got to be like right on the wall. And I'm sure you guys probably saw that he was hitting the wall pretty much every lap trying to get the grip. And my car's already beaten up a little bit, and I'm trying to stay away from making it worse.
All right. Well, I got one more question before we let you go. So what's the tire situation out there? I mean, we've seen drivers pit when we don't expect them to. We've seen drivers not pit when we expected them to. How's the tire wear on these cars? Is it a factor at all?
It's definitely not like real life in NASCAR where the tread is completely gone. The tire wear isn't too bad. It doesn't give you that much of an advantage. So yeah.
All right. Well, the lights are off on the pace truck, and it's very short pace lap, so we're going to get back in your team chat. Congratulations on your stage win, and good luck going forward. That was Jonathan Delaney, your stage 2 winner, out of the booth and back into his team chat. So you heard it from Delaney there, Josh. Looks like tires really aren't much of a factor here, which is probably what kind of plays into some of these guys opting to stay out so much.
Yeah, well, with the not necessarily that I would say that iRacing doesn't have realistic tire models. Just with this track setting and we don't have that much data on cup cars on dirt, man. So it's hard to get a realistic tire model set down. But you heard from him, it doesn't seem like too much of advantage. So you see, he got a good restart. He's hanging it out there still. As we've got 100 laps to go. We're getting on it as Jonathan Delaney's out there, and he said that 8 car was in the wall, and you see him. He's up there hanging the wall. He's trying to find that pace. It's the 16 now of Ryan Samuelson. He's going to dig around the outside, and he's going to gain the lead, but the caution is out. Big wreck in the back, but Ryan Samuelson, he grabbed the lead before the caution came out. So
looks like a cluster back there. Not entirely sure what broke that out. We're going to try and find a replay, identify cause of that. But, man, that was an exciting restart up front. But back here, let's see what was going on. So Preston McRae and Patrick Mute were kind of bumper to bumper. The 38, Brandon Pierce down on the low line. 53. I'm not sure if he got a little help there or if he just got... Oh, Kevin Steele tagging him. 12 car adding to the hits there. But, again, I'm not sure if the 53 got help there? It looked like there was no contact. Like he just
Looked
got
like it
hit.
might have been like a little bit of net code contact, that bubble, you know.
Right. We're
But
on the back bumper of the
let's see.
53 now, so we'll see.
See, he is close.
Yeah, that might have been a little bit of net code.
Yeah, either got loose, a little bit of net code. Either way, I mean,
Yeah,
he
either
definitely
way,
did.
there was
He
no
definitely did get around with help or not. We don't know, but
yeah.
that 46 was close. So
Kevin Steele, the almost the unluckiest driver of the night, man. He has been right behind every single incident, it seems like. As Preston McRae slides down, and he just can't quite avoid him. He almost got it. I mean, if that car was just a little bit more responsive, or if we were on pavement, I think he would have avoided him. But this dirt, man, you crank the wheel and the car don't really go anywhere. It just kind of keeps trucking in its line that it's running.
well, it's way harder to get the race car stopped too for these guys spinning as well on this dirt. So all in all, it's just harder from everybody to really save these wrecks.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of that tonight. Just harder to save, harder to avoid. I mean, just everything about this track has been very difficult. And one thing that did happen in all of the chaos was we had on board with the Maris Hickenbottom here. You can see he is coming down this straightaway. Everything's about to break out in front of him. Turn 3 at Bristol, and this happens right in front of you. And there's Tim Rail again. Oh, no. Man, that was a couple of hard hits. Surprisingly, not much damage on the 09 for the hits that he took. I mean, could be a little engine damage, I don't know, but visual damage, I mean, the car looked all right.
Yeah, it seems like some of these guys just can't get it checked up. We've had it like you said, pretty much the same drivers get caught up in that late spin action, and they try to get it slowed down, and then all of a sudden, bam, right in the back bumper. It's just really hard to see through all that dirt, all the new smoke models as well. So I'm pretty sure it's pretty hard to see through all that when these cars are getting spun around, kicking up all that dirt, kicking up all that tire smoke. Just hard to get it stopped in general as well. Right now, Ryan Samuelson, he is your leader.
Yeah, he was able to overtake Jonathan Delaney in the brief moment between the green flag and that yellow flag breaking out. So he's going to be restarting P1 after dropping back a ways earlier in the race. Now back on top. Jonathan Delaney, we've seen him get a few good restarts on the outside, so we're going to see if he can do that again. And, of course, Adam Benefiel inside row 2. He's been fast. He's been closing in on that top spot all night long. Going to see if maybe now that he's got a good starting position, he can maybe do something with that. And RJ Root, that's another strong car. He's going to be restarting outside row 2. He's had a lot of speed. It just been involved in a lot of battles that I think have kind of held him up and kind of prevented him from maybe really showing the real speed that car has. But Face Truck about to make that hard left turn. Flagman is at the ready, and Samuelson going to get on that throttle hard as Delaney slots in.
Man, I thought he was turning him. Oh. That's going to get not a bad restart. He's back to third. But he got a big run off it, too. Looks like he's going to gather it back up. It's a good little save there from our lead pack. That could have went south really quick.
If this was a parallel parking driving exam where you're supposed to slot in between two cars, Delaney would have gotten an A+. Unfortunately for him, this is a race, and that's maybe not too beneficial as they go 4 wide for a minute. Out of the turn, contact Samuelson and Benefiel as Delaney is stuck on the high side, everything breaking out beneath him. He's just hoping these guys keep it straight and don't wreck and slide up into him. But the new leader, the number 8, RJ Root, to the top spot for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and he was up there in that wall in turn 3. He was really running that outside lane. He's sticking it up there. He seems like he's been pretty committed to that outside, and it seems like that's where he's going to try to stay. He's on the inside lane right now, but a couple times he has stuck it up there. So we'll see where he decides to go these next couple laps.
For sure. And one thing I'm noticing, Josh, is that it seems like you can get hit in the door or tap somebody in the door, and the cars stay pretty stable. It's only when you get contact with the rear bumper that we start to have issues. We got somebody in the wall there. Looks like it's Ryan Samuelson. Oh, no.
You said that, and then they hit doors, and he got loose. So,
well, again, my calculations might have been a little off.
It's fine. We just like to call that the commentator curse, you know. We're the best at doing it.
Yeah, it seems like we can't talk about anything, man. But that's our job. We have to.
But look at Raymond or RJ Root, man. He's out almost 2 seconds now over the 83 of Adam Benefield.
Yeah, he's got a huge lead. And I mentioned that, maybe the number 8 wasn't able to really show us the speed that he has because he's been involved in so many battles with other drivers. And I think we're seeing that, man. He got out front in clean air, not battling anybody, not sacrificing any time. And he has pulled away. And behind him, man, even better news for RJ Root is that Delaney has caught up to Benefiel, and they're going to be battling it out for second place. Raymond Root out of, I'm not going to try to pronounce that hometown, Gloucester, VA. Age 20, 100% rootin' and scootin'. I don't know if that's something he put in or if that's something our producer put in, but that is fantastic. I love it. Jonathan Delaney on the bottom of Adam Benefiel. He's going to make the move, Josh.
Oh, that's looking like a slide job right there. That 9 is going to slide up in front of the 16 or not the 16, the 83, excuse me. Wasn't even a slide job because he got big clear of him on that bottom lane. Is the 83, he's trying to slide back around, but looks like that 9 starting to pick up the pace, and he's already almost a half a second over. Whoa! Big wreck on screen right now.
Bryce Hoffman in that 21 car took a wild ride. We have to see if we can get a replay from it's Bryce Hoffman minus the front bumper. So we take a look at the replay here. He's coming through the corner, too wide with Samuelson. Maybe a little bit of an overcorrect, slides down. Everything seems fine, and then yeah, he just got a little too sideways, slid down into the car beneath him, and a couple of hard hits there.
See Jonathan Delaney down pit road this time.
Now that is surprising. That is really surprising. But maybe he's going to be good on fuel if he pits now. Maybe that's what he's thinking about. We ride on board with Bryce Hoffman in that incident, and yeah, he would have been fine, but there was a car down there where he was sliding, so he was not fine, unfortunately. He made a good recovery, though. He got that thing straightened out. Just going to have to get some damage fixed up on that thing, and he's going to hopefully be able to stay out on track. But RJ Root, he is going to maintain the lead on this restart. This time it's going to be Adam Benefiel starting alongside him with Delaney opting to have pit. So, again, I got to wonder if maybe Delaney knows something these guys don't. Maybe he's going to be in the clear on fuel and these guys are going to have to pit. We'll find out. But, again, it's such an unknown. Like I am really in the dark as to how the tires are affecting these cars, the fuel situation, all of that, because this is just such a different type of race, a different length. I mean, we are already 174 laps into this 250-lap race, and it's only been going for a little while. So, different event for sure, but everybody's still single file. The cars that opted to pit, which I believe at this point was only Delaney, are going to be making their way back to the pack. And look at that, Cameron Stone, P3. I tell you what, Josh, we've seen Cameron get up to the second row so many times on these restarts, but he never seems to be able to go anywhere with it. He gets freight trained on these restarts. Like, he just doesn't have that short run speed. And I got to wonder if maybe he's been working on that car, trying to figure something out with brake bias or, what he's doing to try to get that little bit of an edge. Because it seems like he can get up front, but then he gets there and it seems to stall out.
Yeah, it seems like he's had a lot of his good runs seem to stall out. Like you said, he has been restarting up there in the front almost every time, but seems to just fall back. But holding that third spot right now. Let's see if he can change it up a little bit and roll the dice. Maybe get something going in that 57 machine. We know it's fast. He won his heat race, so that Moon Pie Ford Mustang, it's got something in the bag. I just feel like he hasn't shown us yet.
And definitely could be. And another car that's missing the rear bumper is quite a few cars in this front pack are kind of missing their rear bumpers. But
that's just less stuff to hit the outside wall, man.
Exactly. Less weight.
At least he's got a spoiler.
He's got that. I think the 69 car kind of showed us you need that. You need that part of the car. Otherwise, it ain't going to handle too well. So, lights are off on the pace car. This is the final time we're going to make our way to 3 and 4 for this pacing session. I'm expecting a few more pacing sessions, I'm sure. And pace truck going to make that left-hand turn. And it looks like Adam Benefiel is right up on the outside wall, trying to get all the grip he can from that berm up there. Worked out pretty well. He was able to stay to the quarter panel at number 8. 57 got a good run into the corner, lost that momentum in the center as we have a battle for the lead breaking out. Adam Benefiel trying to get to the low side of that number 8.
Indeed, and it looks like he is going to be to the low side of that as they're going to come out side by side. But the 8's got a massive run off that top lane. Seems to be finding the dirt in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, he's dipping out of that low lane. But as you see, just saw the 63 get big loose back there in the 9. He's starting to work his way already back to the field. He's up to P7 now.
Jonathan Delaney making his way around Bryson Hicksonbaugh. I believe he's on fresh tires, which he said they don't make much of a difference, but I tell you, he's really working his way up through traffic, so maybe a little bit of an advantage there with those fresh tires. I have to wait and see how that plays out. But Ryan Samuelson on your screen right now, trying to make his way back up towards the front after getting into the wall there, giving up a little bit of time. But, I mean, he did that earlier in the race and got right back up at the front not too long after. So definitely down but not out. He's going to be racing his way forward as is Delaney. I think he gave a little bit of a bumping around to that number 12. Oh, there's the apron, John. There's
Good
the apron.
Save. Good save. Oh, my gosh.
Heck of a save.
I thought we were going to see another victim to those pit road barrels.
That is exactly what I was expecting.
Ooh. Ryan Samuelson, he's worked his way back up to P4. He's getting really close to the 57 of Cameron Stone. Mason Lowry as well. They're battling out for that P3 position.
Man, Samuelson's car is just dialed in. He has gone back to the rear end of the field and all the way back up to the front so many times now. And he makes it look effortless. Like, he is just really in his element, I think, with this dirt racing. I honestly didn't know that Samuelson was so good on the dirt. A lot of these drivers, I didn't know how much dirt experience they really had going in, but it's quite evident that Samuelson is somebody who he's thriving on this dirt. He loves it. He's up to P3. He got around Cameron Stone. Now he's only about 1.6 seconds, I believe, back from Adam Benefiel. So he's got a little bit of ground to close up, but, I mean, the car definitely seems fast enough to do it. Speaking of Adam Benefiel, he himself is about a second back from our leader in that number 8 car, RJ Root. Once he got clear of Benefiel, he was able to pull away a little bit. As now on your screen, you're seeing a new battle emerge. It's going to be the 56, Mason Lowry, and the 57, Cameron Stone, working their way through the corner. 4 drivers involved in this battle for 4th. Cameron Stone, Mason Lowry, Bryson Hicksonbaugh, and Jonathan Delaney, who we saw had that scary moment on the apron. He was able to get that thing gathered up. And looks like all of these guys are very similar in pace right now.
Indeed, I was going to say, it seems like they're all going to different parts of the track at some points, and then they all just seem to kind of fall back in place once they go down the straightaways. Is 3 and 4 right there, they seem to be on the same line, but you see in 1 and 2, they're just all over the track in different spots, and surprised to see if Jonathan Delaney's going to be as fast as he was earlier in the race, or interested to see, not surprised, but would be surprising to see if he didn't pick it back up, though, and get up there towards the front.
Absolutely. That'll be something to watch. And speaking of something to watch, I'm looking at Ryan Samuelson still, and he is closing the gap to Benefiel little by little. And Benefiel is kind of falling back to the leader, so it's going to be a battle for second as RJ Root continues to try to extend his lead. But that battle is going to be forming up before too long as we're riding on board with Adam Benefiel. You can see just how sideways these cars are getting. There's the intervals between Benefiel and RJ Root. You can see 3 out of the last 5 laps, it was RJ Root with the advantage, although a slight advantage the last 2 to Benefiel, 0.02 and 0.03. That time around, a 10th advantage to Root. So whatever that 8 car is doing, man, he's got something figured out. He is on rails right now.
Indeed, that car seems to be hooked up. You said it. He's went to the back a couple times under caution, drove his way back up through, had a little bit of adversity on the last green flag sent, but seems to have gathered it back up, found a remedy to those problems, and starting to wheel that thing back up there up to P3. He was our stage 1 winner, so we know there's a lot of speed in that 16.
Absolutely, a lot of speed for sure, and he's definitely showing that as he's continuing to close this gap. And another thing that we're going to be seeing very shortly, just like we saw in some of the other longer green flag runs we've had, lap traffic. The number 8 is closing in on the 09 Damaris Hickenbottom as well as Tim Rail. Man, that 17 car and the 09, they cannot get away from each other. They've been pretty much together this whole race.
The 16 just got plowing tight and slammed to the outside wall in 4.
Seems like that's a reoccurring trend there with that 16. He's fast, but man, that car gets a little tight sometimes, and it seems like it's hard for him to fight as Delaney right now making a move on.
Whoa,
Bryson
he just went
Hickenbaugh.
around the 16.
No.
Caution's out for the 16 as Hickenbaugh's going to get caught up in it.
Oh, hard hit.
Oh, and he has no rear deck lid as well.
Gonna take a look at a replay, see what happened to the 16. He had worked his way all the way back up to third. He's closing in on second. And while I was looking at the cars up ahead, he was coming through the corner. Little bit of a wiggle there, nothing too major, and then just too much.
Yeah, he just got into the corner too hard, it looked like. Yeah, I would say maybe getting in the brakes while turning. It looks like that front end just really got loose or like light, and that rear end just came around super hard. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it looks like it just the balance of that car was all off. Something was wrong.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to see. I don't know how much that damage is going to affect him, but as we watch the gyro cam of this incident, you can see he's giving it a lot of counter steer through the corners. And so you can tell he's running a loose setup already, and then as he goes into this corner, yeah, I bet had to be brakes because that steering wheel didn't move.
Yeah, that car just came around on him. It looked like for sure that he was on the brakes or something on the quarter entry too long, or I don't know, just something. That race car snapped around, very unorthodox. That was something you usually don't see too much.
Yeah, as we ride on board, this is the Bryson Hickenbaugh's perspective of the incident. They're coming out of turn 2. Sanderson's going to get a little loose going into 3. Around she goes. Bryson, oh man. He had about 4 feet to work with, and he made it work. So he was able to get it to the outside line. He had to hit the wall to do it, but fortunately was able to avoid too much contact. It could have been worse. Said that a lot last week, but right there, could have been worse.
As he is not going to go a lap down. He's going to grab a couple little bit of repairs that he can. Put some tires on that thing. He's going to get back out on the track. He's on the lead lap, so see if he has a little bit more luck than that 69 driving that thing around with no spoiler, but we know it's going to be hard.
Absolutely. And RJ Root maintaining the lead for this restart. He's again going to have Adam Benefield to his outside, and just like last time, Cameron Stone's going to be restarting P3. So seems like Cameron Stone, man, he's got that intimidate button. He's been running fourth a lot this race, and it seems like it's always the third place driver that has an unfortunate incident. So it's like Cameron's back there with that intimidate button from NASCAR 2005, just pressing it, making these guys make mistakes, and then he gets this second row starting position.
Yeah, the negative 30 points arrival. These guys are going to start getting heated at each other, throwing the bumpers if they use that button too much. But as you see, RJ Root, like you said, still holding on to that lead, and Cameron Stone, he hasn't really moved from that 4th, 3rd, 5th place spot. He's kind of just been hanging out there all day. It's gonna be interesting to see if he can pull that thing up. And like we said earlier, won this Heat 2 race, and I want to see if he can get that thing up there.
Absolutely. It's going to be just over 50 laps to go as we take the green flag this time. And RJ Root wasting no time. He got on the throttle real quick. Didn't quite get the jump he probably wanted. They're too wide behind him. Cameron Stone to the inside of that 83. Let's see if he can make something work as he slides up a little bit. We know how strong that high line is. It's a 3-way battle for the lead right now. The 57 closing in on the number 8 in the center of the corner. And that 83 getting a big run out of contact.
He was leaning on that 83. Oh, contact!
More contact.
He gathered it back up. He slowed up. He gave it to him. That was like he gave him I'll slow down for you, let you get gathered up. I'm not going to spin you around. I didn't mean to. So a little bit of respect right there. Yeah, exactly. A little bit of a my bad.
Yeah,
just
or
checked also.
maybe the 57 had to lift. I mean, when you make contact like that, it kicks your rear end
Whoa,
around.
and he's going to do it again.
There goes Benefield down into the inside wall. Well, Benefield maybe not going to be too happy about that, but that'll be a bridge that Cameron can cross when he gets to it. We'll take a look at a replay. This is the onboard rear bumper cam. A bump there. And we're going to see another bump right here. Josh, there it is. Just avoiding that inside wall. Lucky he was able to avoid it. The fact that he was able to keep off those sand barrels that have claimed so many other cars kind of saved his day right there.
That did save him indeed. He got lucky. He could have definitely ended his day early, but say that, though. That's opened the door for Mason Lowry and Jonathan Delaney. They're now under a second with Mason Lowry only like 2 car lengths back. He's starting to close that door. And Jonathan Delaney, he's right there as well.
Absolutely. And another car I'm looking at, Ryan Samuelson. He's working his way back up again. Seems like the damage is not holding him back that much. He's up to P8 already. But we're going to take in the sights and sounds of Bristol as everybody is working their way through the field, navigating this traffic with a Shano FX Overdrive. All right, we're back from the overdrive momentarily. 48 involved in an incident there, bringing out the yellow flag. Got a little bit squirrely out of the corner, spun around on the straightaway. You can see all of that happening on the replay. We're going to kick it back to the overdrive, and we'll be back shortly. And we are back at Dirt Bristol. The caution laps have ran their course. Lights are off on the pace truck, and we got 2 more corners before we're going to get back to the green flag racing. Front row spearheaded by RJ Root. He's been leading for quite some time. And Cameron Stone, I believe this is the first time he's going to be restarting on row 1. He's got Jonathan Delaney and Mason Lowry behind him. Green flag has flown, and the 57 with a fantastic start on that outside line.
And the 9 as well. He's going to be right up in the mix now for that P1 position as they are battling it out already for that first spot. RJ Root, Cameron Stone. 2 good restarts there from the 57 and the 8, but the 9, he said, hey, I'm here too. And, I hear crashing behind him.
And we know that 9 car is fast. He has been quick all night long. He's got a stage win to his name. Cameron Stone making a move on the outside, trying to get the race lead. Door to door, fishtailing down the straightaway. A little bit of smoke on the straightaway. I don't know where that came from. I don't know how you get smoke on a dirt track, but that was there. as the 57 falls back into second, not quite able to complete the overtake.
Big
Oh,
shove there to
contact.
RJ. They're going to get everything settled out. Jonathan Delaney, he's still working on that 57. That 57 gave a big shot to the 8 of RJ Root, though. But seems like RJ Root said, hey, thanks for the speed boost. I'm out of here.
That seems to be how it worked out. He gave that number 8 a little bit of a boost there with that bump. And Cameron Stone goes around.
Goes the 57 off the 56 of Mason Lowry, the number neighbors. Looks like they're going to be number rivals as he sends him around.
Man, oh, man. Well, you know, I got to say, in motorsports, in any form of racing, and I guess it extends to the wider world of sports in general, but you reap what you sow. You know, Adam Benefiel, he's raced people pretty hard prior in the season, spun a few people out. Cameron Stone spun him out. Cameron Stone spun out Adam Benefiel. Now Mason Lowry turned him. I think this is just a case of people, you know, they watch how you race other people, you know, and when you're constantly bumping people and getting into people, and you kind of got to expect situations like this. So unfortunate for Benefiel and Cameron Stone, but two very aggressive drivers kind of getting their own medicine, I suppose.
Indeed, it's one of those things when you get up on the back bumper, people are out of their cage a lot. You don't sometimes expect it to come back to you, but then when it does, it's kind of like, hey, I guess I had it coming. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I think that right there, that was kind of more of a situation where we've seen many times tonight, where it's just the closing rate of you know, the car ahead of you. It checks up a little bit. It's hard to get your car to slow down, especially on this dirt when it gets all rubbered up. The car just tends to slide. If you get on the brakes, try to slow down, and you can't really avoid that kind of contact. It's very difficult to do, especially in these cars. You mentioned it a couple times, Josh. These cars, not built for dirt, not even remotely. So. Yeah, it definitely breeds situations like that.
Yeah, most of these cars haven't seen dirt besides pulling them outside of some of their local shops. But other than that, that's about it. Pulling them outside, letting them sit outside. And hey, other than that, these things haven't seen dirt. And like you said, pre-race, it's our first time in 50 years in real life, over 50 years that NASCAR is going to be back on dirt. So you get this on iRacing, you know, like you said, a handful of talented drivers out there that not a lot of them may be familiar with dirt. We got a couple of guys I'm sure in here that are dirt specialists, but some of these drivers not too familiar with it. So it's fun to see kind of these not necessarily two worlds collide, seeing as NASCAR did come from this background, but seeing these recent worlds collide, I guess you could say. We haven't seen it in a while, and it's fun to see these Cup cars get thrown back on the dirt, and we've really got to see a whole different style of racing tonight than what we're kind of accustomed to.
Definitely a different style of racing for sure. And you talk about dirt specialists. Well, there's Ryan Samuelson back up in row 2 for this restart. How many times, Josh, has this guy been to the back of the pack and then all the way back towards the front? Seems like 3 or 4 times already. Now he's going to have to see what he can do, as we're going to make, I believe, one more pace lap around the track. Waiting to see if the lights go off on the pace truck. Kevin Steele inside the pace truck right now, very patiently awaiting the go ahead to take his way around. There he goes.
I didn't even see him in my camera. That was funny.
But shout out to Kevin Steele's parents for sponsoring the race and making sure that this race got broadcasted so that everybody at home could enjoy the sheer chaos that these previous 217 laps have been. They went ahead and sponsored this race, of course, the Driver Appreciation 250 presented by Kevin Steele's parents. They've been a huge supporting factor to this league, and they always tune in every week, support the broadcast, they support the league, and just awesome to have that kind of family environment in this league. But looks like as they take the green flag, Samuelson's going to waste no time. Ooh. Oh, you and I saw the same thing, Josh. That was close.
I did. I saw that 16 with a big old closing rate to the non's door. They're getting 3 wide behind him, the 12 to 63, and who else is that? That looks like the 83 of Adam Benefield, excuse me. They were 3 wide there behind him for a second as the 16 still working on the 9 right
contact,
now. They're going to make
Delaney.
door-to-door contact. He's going to get past Delaney.
All right, that's Samuelson up into P2. I'll tell you what, I'm going to need to be prescribed some blood pressure medication after this. This is stressful to watch.
Oh, yeah, my heart rate has definitely jumped up a couple times tonight, and I'm not even in that race car, so I can assume what it's like for some of these guys behind that wheel tonight.
Absolutely, as we ride on board there for just a moment. Now, the above head camera focusing in on Ryan Samuelson as he is trying to hunt down RJ Root. And behind him, you got Delaney and Benefiel, drivers that are no strangers to one another. These guys have been battling it out on multiple occasions tonight. Usually for the second spot in the prior stage there, but now for fourth. And now Bryson Hicksonbot goes around. Caution flag flies.
We're going on board with that replay. So let's see what happened to the 63 here. You see him behind the 48, and it's like the 57 of Cameron Stone. He's going to be pulling up. See what happens here. Oh, looks like the 63 just got too much, yeah.
Got on that throttle, spun the tires, and around she went. She gone.
Indeed. That car definitely got around on him quick. You saw the 57 definitely getting on the brakes there. He's like, they ain't going to say I turned 2 people tonight.
Yeah, Kevin Steele trying to, Kevin's been trying to keep his nose clean all night long, but he's got some sort of curse on him tonight, man. He has been right in the middle of every single event that has broke out, every single incident, every single wreck. He's right behind it, and he's got to do everything he can to avoid it. And so far, he has done a phenomenal job keeping that car clean, or at least as clean as it is. And with him getting the wave around last time around, I believe, let's see, where is he in the running? He's 24 laps down. So I'm not exactly sure when he went that many laps down, maybe from damage. But yeah, he was involved in a wreck earlier on in the race. That's probably where he got some damage. But right now, this is going to be a wild restart, Josh, because we have the number 16 right alongside the number 8. He's going to be hungry. He has raced his way to the front so many times, never been able to really get the lead and hold it, though. It seems like he always gets up at the front. He battles it out for position, and then something happens, be it lap traffic, be it the car just getting away from him. But this time, I'm sure he is going to be hungry to get in that clean air, get out ahead of everybody, and try to drive away from it. As well as Adam Benefiel. He has driven his way up through the field multiple times. We saw the contact with him and Cameron Stone. They got together. The 83 had to make an evasive maneuver and avoid the inside sand barrels. He slowed up a lot to do that. Gave up a lot of track position. Now all the way back up into 4th. So both these drivers, man, they've had to drive the wheels off these things. They've definitely earned their track position, but they're going to want just a little bit more.
Indeed, and with less than 25 laps to go when we come back to the green flag, it's going to be, I feel like the gloves are coming off right now. You're going to see a lot of elbows out, white knuckle racing. These guys are going to be getting down and dirty here. This is going to be all this time we've spent learning all these grooves, learning how the track's starting to settle in. As you see, there's just all this rubber laid out on the track now. A lot of dirt missing, but these cars are still willing it through there. But that's just what's going to happen. But like I said, all these gloves are coming off. These drivers are starting to get nitty gritty. They're starting to get ready to get to the end of this thing, and this is where you start racing for the win. If you're up there in the top 5s, I would not expect to see another caution fairly soon with as racy as these guys have been coming to the last 30. It's going to be fun.
Oh, for
20,
sure.
excuse me.
For sure. And like I said, so many drivers in the front of this pack hungry for a good run. And shout out to Devin Medeiros. He's been involved in a couple incidents, and he's made a fantastic recovery. He's back up inside the top 5 right now alongside Jacob Adams in that 48. As the green flag flies, the 16 spins his tires, and immediately they're going to go 3 wide. And, close call between Medeiros and Cameron Stone.
83 hit the 16, but he barely touched him. Or the 16 hit the 83.
Benefiel going to drop back a little bit because of that. There's Cameron Stone behind.
Whoa, the 19 is going to turn the 16. He just turned him.
Boy! Caution flag is out. Jonathan Delaney partially involved, but the real victim in that, I believe, was the number 16. Yeah, he was slow on the straightaway.
Yeah, he got turned hard. He was but like he was trying to get in the throttle as much as he could, and the rear end just wasn't wanting to deal with that. And the 9 just way more ahead of steam. And I told you this is where it was going to get racy. The gloves are coming off. They weren't going to take that whole checking up anymore. And he just really just got into the back of the 9 or the 16. Looks like he just kind of never stopped. Said, "Hey, sorry, getting through here, buddy."
Yeah, I mean, In Delaney's situation, you got to think not only is there only 20 laps to go, but he's got cars right behind him. If he slows
Indeed,
down
yeah.
to check up to the 16, he's going to get hit himself.
Oh, yeah.
So you just kind of have to bulldoze the car in front of you and hope that you don't get hit from behind in that situation. It's not pretty, but that's kind of your only choice as a
Oh,
driver.
yeah. Well, especially at these short tracks, you get stacked up that, like you said, you have to agree with that. That is one of those things that it does have to come down to happen. I said that these guys were going to get elbows out, start throwing down, and you see we did get 1.5 laps under green, and 9 turns 16 because he is ready to go. He had the 83 on his back bumper. He wasn't trying to get the same thing happening to him. That's just a victim of this. That's it. When you become a victim of short track racing, that's what it seems to happen. So looks like old Bristol out here getting on that low lane, turning people. Feels like 98.
Absolutely. But man, this track is so rubbered up. I mean, you could practically hear the tires squeal when they go around these corners. It has gotten so much rubber. But this is going to be a wild restart. We're on lap 232. We got a couple more laps worth of pacing. And it's going to be RJ Root again leading him to the green alongside Adam Benefiel. Row 2 is going to consist of Jonathan Delaney and Cameron Stone. You know, Josh, if this restart wasn't going to be crazy enough, now we have two drivers that I think right now at the moment aren't very fond of each other, starting bumper to bumper. We've got Cameron Stone and Adam Benefiel starting on the same row right in front of one another with only a few laps to go. I think this is kind of building up to be some fireworks very shortly.
Well, we definitely saw the lighter spark, and they started getting to it last time. So it's only a matter of time before we get a couple more big ones. I'm feeling like we're gonna have a couple more bumpers going. So that 9 turning the 16 just opened the door for now everybody to start getting wild. I feel like.
Oh yeah, it's a snowball effect. I think everybody started this race with the intention of just keeping their nose clean and trying to make it to the end. But you see everybody around you getting into each other, bumping each other, even if it's not intentional, which very little of this is. I mean, this is all just the drivers trying to navigate this difficult track with these cars that weren't built to navigate this difficult track. And unfortunately, accidents are going to occur. But still, you see that as a driver. Everybody's bumping and rubbing. There's barely a car on this track that has the rear bumper still on it or the front bumper still on it. And it kind of builds up, and you kind of, like you said, you take the gloves off and you say, hey, okay, this is what we're doing, so this is what we're doing.
And this is what we got to do today to get the job done. And that's just how it works. And if I'm not saying anybody out there is maliciously doing anything to other drivers, but that's just what happens at these short tracks, for sure. I mean,
yeah, I mean, the aggression levels go up, and you pair that with cars that are so difficult to drive.
These guys are definitely having to lean on each other a lot. It's not easy. Like you said, it's not necessarily just turning people to turn people. These guys are having to hold those race cars on that track. I don't even want to know what it's like driving with that much rubber down on the track, not that much dirt still out there. It's probably not that fun trying to wheel those things around there. We're going to go back green. RJ Root, big restart. Adam Benefield, he's going to fall back into second. And you see the 9 of Jonathan Delaney and the 57 of Cameron Stone. They're door-to-door coming out of 2, but looks like the 9's going to get a little bit of a better run.
That was a great corner for Delaney. He's going to move up to the high side. Cameron Stone with a big send behind him, nowhere to go with it. As we got a battle for the lead, RJ Root, Adam Benefiel. They've been bumper to bumper for the last lap or so. Benefiel with a huge send, nearly getting to the bumper. Looks like that bottom line is coming in as number 9 is going to get a bit of a run here. Now side by side, RJ Root going to have to run the high line here. I'm not sure that was by choice there, Josh. I think he got a little bit of help getting sent up there, but now with a
look
huge
at that run, man! Send it down the front stretch. I was waving my arm. I was sending him. You'd think I was the drunk guy in the crowd right now. I was sending him down the front stretch.
Yes, sir, man. He got a huge run, and
he's sitting up there in that top lane, man.
Yeah, he loses a little bit of time in the center of the corner, but then he gets to the straightaways, and you can see just this powerful run. And Jonathan Delaney, I mean, he's also a part of this. He might not be side by side with them, but he is on their bumpers. And now RJ Root, he's going to lose the lead. Benefiel is clear. Now the question is, can Delaney clear RJ Root as well and continue his battle with Benefiel?
Spinner. I see the 12's around.
And the caution flag flies for the 875th time tonight.
Feels like it.
As a pace car, holy crap, it scared me again. It just drove through 3 drivers, and I thought it was an actual car for a minute there. But we're going to take a look at the replay, see exactly what broke out behind the battle for the lead. It looks like Chad Edwards and Mason Lowry right ahead of Bryson Hicksonbaugh.
I want to say the 12 got around him and the 4 got into him while you're spinning.
Oh, T-bone twice. 12 car got loose, the 4 car T-boned him. Then the 38 came and hit the 4 car. That was a stack up if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for the 38. He's just out there trying to make laps, and he's still getting caught up in it.
Yeah, that's not the way he wanted his night to go.
Oh, looks like Mason Lowry got a little bit of contact. Yeah, maybe a little bit of netcode contact from the 56, but unfortunate for the 12. He got turned around, and then Chad Edwards gets into him. Brandon Pierce gets into him. Just a big accordion effect. So see how it. Less than 10 to go. You are correct. We got 9 laps to go here at Bristol Dirt. It's starting to look like Bristol, but
that it is. We not much racing left. This is going to be a shootout. Jonathan Delaney, I'm sure, is not going to leave an inch for Benefield, and I don't think Benefield's going to do anything nice for Delaney either. I think these guys are going to take every inch they can get, and it's going to be interesting to watch this restart because we've seen Delaney multiple times. He takes that high line, he gets up where the cushion is, and he's able to get on the throttle a little bit harder than anybody else because up in that cushion, you got a little bit more grip. You got this kind of fluffy, dusty layer as opposed to the more slick rubbered up section. But now that cushion is basically gone. I mean, you've literally got a tire width of a cushion up there. And if Delaney's able to hook it and get a good restart, well, hey, more power to him. But that's going to be a difficult task.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how these drivers are going to take these last couple laps right here. We should be at, 6 to go when we come back? 7 to go? 8 to go, maybe? My math is all over the place.
Right now, we are at 9 to go. Lights are still on the pace car, so it'll be 8 to go this time. It should be 7 to go when we take the green flag. I believe. My math could be off. I'm not a mathematician. I'm far from it, in fact. But yeah, we are indeed doing math, so figuring out how many times we're going to go around the track. The angle of the corners is about 32 degrees banking. Multiply that by the 243 laps we've made, and that leaves us with about 568 cautions.
Don't forget to add Kurt Angle to the mix.
And we got to add Kurt Angle into the mix, and you got a 56 3/4 chance of winning at Bristol. I can't remember the actual wrestling event that was in that video. Sacrifice.
You suck. I love Kurt Angle, man. Come on.
Yeah,
Remember when Kurt Angle had hair? Oh man.
Looks like the pace car is off. Adam Benefield with a huge jump there. Jonathan Delaney on that outside lane, not letting him get away. He's actually got a huge run down the straightaway, side by side for second, but Delaney in that preferred outside line. What is Delaney willing to do to get this lead? Is he willing to put the bumper to Benefield, or does he even have to put the bumper to Benefield? Can he take this outside lane? As he gets a little bit loose there, that's going to hurt his run out of the corner. Just getting to the quarter panel, not quite getting clear. High line getting harder and harder to run is maybe a crossover attempt by Delaney. Not quite going to work out. He is just 2 slideways.
See RJ Root, he's working his way up to that nines bumper. 2 times in a row, he's been in that bumper on corner exit and corner entry. It looks like he's starting to pick it up where we are at. 5 to go this time by.
Absolutely. John Delaney got a great 1 and 2. He could have put the bumper to Benefield. He didn't. He lifted. That was mighty courteous. That 9 is number 8. Sends it in.
A little bit of net code.
I don't know if that was netcode or Jonathan Delaney. Just kind of over-correcting his more contact.
He ran in the back of the 8.
8 car, just avoiding those barrels. This is just giving this to Adam Benefield, gift wrapping it. In essence, we're on lap 247, coming to lap 248 this time across the line. So we're going to be 3 to go as Adam Benefield is across the line. Now RJ Root moving to the outside, seeing what he can do up there. Jonathan Delaney in second. He knows he's only got a couple laps to make anything happen. I'm not sure he's got time.
And there's 2 more laps to go. Adam Benefield, he's trying to make the last place. 2 first place sweep right here at Bristol Dirt. Trying to come from the back of the field all the way to the front. Lap 249 of lap 250. He's out front with Jonathan Delaney trying to creep up behind him, but looks like Adam Benefield's slowly pulling off. He's still got almost a second lead as the white flag is out this time for Adam Benefield.
for the final time. They're going to go through 1 and 2. Jonathan Delaney a little bit quicker through 1 and 2 that time, but unfortunately, time is not on his side. Coming through 3 and 4 for the final time, Adam Benefiel is going to flick that thing into the corner, get it sideways, and drift it right on out of the turn 4 for the win. The inaugural Dirt Bristol race for the 100% Cup Series. Adam Benefiel takes that checkered flag. Jonathan Delaney, second place. RJ Root, P3. Cameron Stone, P4. Ryan Samuelson recovers to a P5. Bryson Nixonbaugh, P6. Jacob Adams, 7th. Bryce Hoffman, 8th. Mason Lowry, 9th. And to round out your top 10, Devin Medeiros in that number 12 car.
Yes, an awesome finish to this race. Really got a lot more racy there at the end than I expected it to, but this track changing up as much as it did, these guys were really starting to put the bumper to each other, really starting to just lean on each other a lot. But I like to see here at Bristol.
Absolutely. So Adam Benefiel going to try to do some burnouts. Got into the wall a little bit there, just making sure it's still there. That's all. But again, shout out to Kevin Steele's parents for sponsoring the race and making sure that this event got broadcasted to all the lovely viewers at home. There is your final results. We already went through 1 through 10. So, Josh, why don't you take 11th on back?
Indeed. You see Chad Edwards. He's going to be in that 11th spot with Demarius Hickenbottom in P12. Cody Bird and Dustin Hall, they're going to be P13 and P14 with Preston McCray, Kevin Steele, P15, P16 with Brandon Pierce and Tim Rell, P17, P18, Pat Much, and Jimmy, how do you say that last name? I don't want to butcher that. Costarellis, thank you. I heard you say it, but that's not a good name that I feel like I would not be too good at saying. But Pat Much and Jimmy Costarellis, they're going to finish 19th and 20th with Dalton Mobley and Wayne Grass, rounding out your field with 21st and 22nd.
What a show that was. We're going to try and get a word in with some of our podium finishers. Josh, I'll let you take third and first. I'll go ahead and take second. And we'll go from third on up. So third place, that would be RJ Root. Going to see if I can find him in his channel. See here. Oh, there he is. Got him. All right. Move to the booth. He's all yours, Josh.
Hey, RJ, this is Josh in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, a P3 finish, man. You were battling for the lead there for a lot of the race. Led a couple laps on this thing, but still a P3 finish on the inaugural race at Bristol Dirt. How you feeling?
I mean, I felt like I had the car to win this, and I got too hard on the throttle on one of the restarts, and Adam got to my inside, and I knew right there that the race was over for me. But I mean, it was a really fun race, and I'm just happy to finish, really.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of people were going to say that same thing. Just wanted to get out of here, but still, P3, man, that's nothing to hold your head down to. You had a really good run today. Seriously thought you were going to be one of the cars that were going to be in victory lane today, but like you said, just a little bit of late race adversity before you got caught up in some of the mess. But hey, still P3, not too bad to hang your head to, man. But hey, you got any shout outs or anything you want to throw out there for us?
I'd like to thank Pay to Win Setups for giving us a great car this week. I'd like to thank Hawk Simworks and Outcast Sim Paints.
All right. Well, hey, RJ, again, congratulations on P3. Wish you could have got a little bit better of a run there, seeing as you had the strength, like you said, but still, like we said, not too bad of a run. Congratulations, man, and have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, and that was RJ Root, and we're gonna bring up Jonathan Delaney next, and excuse me, my voice came out. Jonathan Delaney next, and Andres is gonna hop on that interview with him.
Jonathan Delaney, you got a copy?
Yes, yeah, I do.
Well, it wasn't a third place finish, but I'm sure it wasn't any less frustrating. You had a great run all night long. You got a stage win. Your car definitely had the speed to win, but it all came down to a late race restart. And at a track like this, we all know those late race restarts are kind of up to chance. You know, where everybody goes, it's kind of a scramble for position. Walk me through the end of that race there.
Yeah, it was definitely it was hectic. Just everyone fighting for position, and everyone wanted to be on the bottom. The bottom had the most grip. You couldn't really do very much being up on the top or in the middle. So everyone was fighting to be on the bottom, and that it just creates cautions and wrecking, close racing, and whatnot. But at the very last caution there, me and Adam both got around RJ. I was on Adam's bumper for a couple laps, two laps or so. I feel like I was a little faster than him. Just had to get a run off the turn, and I think I could have passed him on the straight since he was a little slower in the straight. But then I got in battle with RJ. Kind of brought me back like 5/10 or so, and by the time that happened, I was done battling him. It was enough laps left for me to catch him.
Time was not on your side, but again, you had a great car, and it's another great finish. It seems like every week, John, you're up here in the podium, and you got to think that that's a confidence booster looking forward.
Yeah, consistent finishes is very key. Being able to run up front week in and week out is very it's awesome to do, especially with the high level of racing here. It's not very easy to do it, and I'm glad I finished top 3 these last 2 weeks. Tonight was definitely a rough one, but I think if we keep just doing this, we'll hopefully get a win. It's coming, and maybe even win the points championship the regular season. So.
Absolutely. Well, before we let you go, John, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to make?
Shout out to you guys for broadcasting this. I like to thank Kevin Steele's parents for sponsoring this, being able for you guys to broadcast. A shout out to everyone who raced tonight. I had a blast. I had lots of fun racing. Congrats to Adam on the win. RJ Root, he finished 3rd. That was a good finish for him. I'd like to thank everyone at DGR, Brandon Pierce, Dalton Mobley had a tough night tonight, and Jamie Cosarello's filling in for Steven. So shout out to those guys. We were real fast all night, just the luck wasn't there. Shout out to Great Lakes Motorsports. Came with them a week ago. Shout out to them. And let's see. Go check out. It's called Go Fast, Don't Die. It's a great company, family-owned company. They have anything from coffee to coffee mugs, sweatshirts, t-shirts, banners, keychains, all that stuff. Go check them out. I'd like to thank also the admin team. And that's all I got.
All right. Thanks for your time, John, and congratulations on P2.
Yep, thank you.
That was John out of the booth, and now we got Josh Kiwis down in Victory Lane. He's going to talk with our winner, Adam Benefiel.
Hey, Adam, this is Josh in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, bud.
Hey, congratulations. One heck of a race from you tonight. I got one question that I want to get off first is how much was it going from the start of this race, or how much different was it, going from the start of this race to lap 250? That track just looks so much different than what we saw here at the green flag start. Just what was it feeling like?
It's this race right here fits right in mine and Dustin's forte wheelhouse, with both of us having real racing dirt backgrounds. So we had an idea of what was going to happen to the racetrack, and so we set the car up for when it sealed over like this, and so yeah. To answer your question, beginning of the race we couldn't turn in a 40-acre field. It was so tight, but the longer the race went on, the better the car got, and it showed because we were able to drive through the field. I didn't really want to run the top because for one, I didn't want to go up there and use the car up in the first 100 laps running up by the wall, and that being such a fine line. But we did so much testing with Dale Jr. and William Byron for the Pro Invitational that we practiced the bottom so much, and so it's kind of where I felt comfortable. And when I seen that there wasn't really a cushion up top, it was just it just blew all the dust to the top. Kind of showed me that the bottom was going to be where it was at tonight, and luckily that's what we honestly set up for. So, it worked out.
It seems like it did. You did have a car that like it was on rails there in the late run, but seems like experience paid off, and you definitely had the car to beat. If I'm not mistaken, you came from the back of the field, correct?
Yeah, so I was trying to get my stream going because my wife and kids they left to go out of town, and I was trying to get my stream going so my little boy could watch the race, and I couldn't get my camera to work. So I was like, I know what the car is going to do. There's no need to start in the middle of the pack, and I'll just take my time and just go, see what happens. And it worked out. We got into a little incident right there. We got doored. I don't know who doored us, but we got KO'd and gave us like 2 minutes of damage, and I thought the race was over. But the further we went with the less RPMs, it benefited us kind of. So it worked out for us.
Well, hey, congratulations, man! You were the class of the field today, driving that thing up from the 22nd spot to first, and showing that experience pays off. But you got any shout outs or anything you want to throw out there, man? Now is the time. But again, congratulations, Adam.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I gotta thank Dustin Hall. I mean, I had playing a big golf. I follow a local golf tour here around the house, and we had our first big tournament today. And he built us something, and I mean, he made a rocket. This was all 100% Dustin Hall, and I hate that what happened to him at the beginning of the race with the internet going out, because I really felt like it was we should have been 1-2 tonight. He was extremely fast. I honestly think he was the best car in the field, and I think he probably would have beat me, taking honest truth, his up there. But Dustin Hall, WR1 Sim Chassis, everybody at Team Conti and Junior Motorsports, everybody here, all the admins, and you guys for doing what you do every week. We appreciate it. We have fun with it, and that's why we keep coming back.
Thank you, Adam. If it wasn't for you guys, we couldn't be here doing it. So we appreciate you. But again, congratulations on one heck of a run, and we're excited to see what you got at Martinsville.
Hell yeah, bro. Sounds good.
All right. Good luck. Congratulations, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
I said good luck.
And that was your race winner, Adam Benefiel, out of victory lane, back to his team chat. And I'm sure he's very excited for the fourth win of the season. One that maybe he wasn't expecting. He didn't quite run in the lead too much tonight, but he led the lap that mattered. So he takes home the checkered flag and a very exciting last lap display. So that is just about going to do it for our post-race coverage. Josh, do you have any closing thoughts on this race?
Besides that, it was exactly what I expected it to be. Mayhem, and more mayhem as it got into it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm Andre Grambush for 3 Wide TV. For Carlos Acosta and Josh Kiwis, thanks for tuning in, and good night, everybody.